Sucking on my own dick. Yeah, you know I'm sucking on my own dick. Sucking on my dick. Everybody's sucking their own dicks. Sucking on our own dicks. Everybody's sucking their own dicks. Sucking on our dicks. Yeah, you know I'm sucking on my dicks.
We are on.
That's how he starts every episode.
Yeah, I either I do a woo, I yell out what number episode it is.
I like it because you
Sometimes I'll just say the name of the show in a voice.
It goes, it's always a coward hour, baby.
Coward hour,
It
baby.
looked like you were celebrating the accomplishment of sitting in the chair.
No, he is. Anytime Brendan passes...
I don't always nail it.
Yeah. Anytime he passes for like a normal man in polite society, a huge
I do
victory.
Mario noises.
Huge victory.
Oh yeah.
It's so sad that I naturally make Mario noises and also look exactly like Mario.
Not even, dude. You look like little Wario.
Yeah,
you
I
look
know.
like Wario before the onion.
I was hoping you'd give it to me this time.
No, you're not even Mario, dude.
I hear you love going down pipes. That's what I hear.
Oh, yes.
Hell yeah.
Are the pipes vaginas or men's asses?
Hey, I hear you don't discriminate.
Fuck! We got Kevin Tienken from the bridge.
We do. We should have.
Sorry. Hi.
The dulcet tones of Mr. Kevin Tienken from
Hey,
the Brain
girls.
Jail Pod.
Yes.
Boys, fellas, gentlemen, women, children.
We have some women who listen. And
Come on.
boy, does that confuse us.
We
Yeah.
do. It's actually been really bothering me.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's weird.
Especially, like, I don't know, I think that just for, like, the first, 6 months of this, but we anticipated that, like, any women who would hear it would, like, call the police or something.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
get real mad.
And then, apparently, they like it.
I mean, some women are real pieces of shit.
That's what it is.
And I think, a lot of times I'll put women on a pedestal morally, and I'm like, oh, this is boys stuff over here. And
Right.
They're like, I loved when you talked about stretching out your nutsack. That was my favorite. Me and my daughter listen. It's so inspirational. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, when I drive my daughter's soccer team
Yeah.
to an away game, we all listen to Brain Jail.
Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it. I go, this is what Daddy does to suppress the demons. Excuse me?
It does bug me out. Like, well, you're doing, because you have kids currently, and you have a
Yeah.
Bad Boy podcast.
I know.
You say currently, like there's a possibility it stops
It
being.
could change. I don't know.
No, I get it.
Maybe they
because-
start acting out
Yeah, well, because you're thinking, what if my kids listen to the stuff that I've
years
done?
later.
And then they leave you as like a twist. Your
Yeah.
kids go get cigarettes.
Dude, seriously, they're like, Dad, I'm gonna go get some more V-Bucks down at the GameStop. I'll be right back, and then never again. Yeah, no, I worry sometimes, but also I don't know. I don't. I feel like there's two extremes where it's like, you coddle your children, you hide the evil of the world away from them. You don't even show you like having anything but pure, intentions and kindness or whatever. And then the other side is like, oh, just 100% be yourself. Talk about jacking off with your 2-year-old.
Right.
Just like, sorry, I picked you up late from school, Darlene. I was jerking it. There's a real good porn on, and I thought it was going to be a 6-minute porn. Turned out it was a 60-minute
Wait,
porn.
it was on like on cable.
Yeah.
Look, when it's on, I gotta take advantage. I don't have TiVo.
I thought they were showing just a 6-minute Bang Bros on cable.
yeah, a highlight reel.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a Sports Center, but it's Fuck Center.
Look, they don't normally air Bang Bros, so I had to stay.
Yeah, so I'm like in between those two worlds where I'm just like, okay, I try to be myself a little bit, but also like be like, I have always preached to my kids, for lack of a better word, just like, be nice, remember that people are more important than things. And those are kind of my main go-tos.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Other than that, I'm just like, oh, here's a joke I tell about you touching my dick when you were 2.5 years old. Will, for my son, it's a real true story,
Right.
And they're just like, Dad, you're funny. You're silly. And I'm just like, yep, mm-hmm. But they used to listen to the other podcast that I did, Rippin' and Skippin'.
Ripping and skip, yeah.
Real nutty. And that I could get a little, gray at times or whatever. Blue. As
Blue, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As the cat
As Cosby
skills.
would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, the 12 a.m. Cosby set.
Yes, I would be sagging my pants, metaphorically speaking, on some of these episodes.
I always thought that the worst thing about what Cosby did is that he must have been sagging his pants while he was doing it.
Think about it. He had to have been.
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting full nude in like a dressing room between scenes.
He's just dropping him to his knees a little bit. Oh, man.
He kills
He
him to do
catches
it.
himself in the mirror with his pants sagging,
like, "Oh."
and he's like, Bill, what are you doing?
He still thinks it's really bad, but he equates like him being a full-blown rapist with like also sagging his pants. So he's like, look at me now, raping and I'm sagging my pants. When in Rome, I guess. Like, it's just like all the rules out the window for Billy Boy today.
It's like I only smoke when I drink.
Yeah.
The minute his pants sag, he's like, well, everything's off the table.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm not. Why even be a good person?
Exactly. I've already gone this far. Might as well start roofing.
Look, today's a cheat day.
Yeah.
From not raping.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
I guess he's in recovery.
Don't act like you don't know where you were going. You took yourself there.
You're like, I am currently on a diet. Like, what does that mean? Oh, you're like 700 pounds. I've been trying not to rape on the weekends mostly.
Oh fuck.
Or are we like 6 minutes in?
Nah, this is great. I was gonna to speak to what Kevin was talking about. That's probably a good way to raise you, because I was very much raised where like my dad was like he's dad, and then suddenly at 20. He tries to hang out with you like you're your friend. You're like, we haven't been doing this.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to suddenly like completely shift gears. Like, it freaked me out.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know. I don't know what the right way to do it is, but my dad was like kind of distant or whatever. My mom was always talking shit about him. So,
Yikes.
because they were like divorced and whatnot.
Oh, right,
Your
right.
father and that woman who stole him away from me. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Mom. Do you want to watch Romancing the Stone? And it's fucking
divorced
brutal.
bitches hate that woman, dude.
Oh,
They cannot
yeah.
stand her.
100%. But then I remember like being like 18, 19 years old and like being like, oh, my dad was actually like a really nice guy. Like he was a kind of like a smart person. And so I took him to lunch one time, just like, hey, just thanks for being a good person. Like, and Mom always told me you were a fucking loser. And you're not. So thanks.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's always weird. So I don't know what's going to happen with my kids. I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see. I mean,
We'll
you could have
see.
mixed results between them.
Yeah.
You gotta start
You have
podcasting
one good one, one bad one.
with your kids. Can we get your kids on Coward Hour?
Absolutely. dude.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're a good dad.
Yeah.
You're
I'm a great dad.
absolutely
Here's what
a great
we'll
dad.
do.
Taking them
How
on
many-
Stern.
How many kids do you have?
2.
2. Okay, so you're gonna wait in the car and you're gonna send them each in individually.
Yep.
And it's gonna be, we're gonna live stream it, so you can watch from the car, but you cannot intervene at all.
You can't.
That seems like responsible parenting.
Yeah.
Just send your kids into an apartment building.
That's a classic. What do they call that in old society? It's what do you call that in like societies where they don't have cars? What am I trying to say?
I have no idea what.
No. Like when the kid has to go into the wilderness and oh god, I've ruined my brain
like
so
a
bad.
Like a
Indian
rite of
brave.
passage?
Oh, rite of passage.
Yeah.
That's a rite of passage for dude. If they come out, they're fucking. All of them are men.
Yeah,
even
if
some
they
of them
come
are
back with
girls.
their brains correct.
Yeah. Look, son, I did it when I was a boy. You'll do it with your kids. We all spend 3 nights on Epstein Island. This is how you become a man. It's like,
What about like kids going into the temple like it's a haunted house
Yeah.
you have to spend one night in?
use condoms.
It's the old Epstein place. You have to break a window and make a wish.
Yeah, I think my kids will be all right. They're good kids for sure. But
Yeah.
any negative thoughts I have about myself, which happens, then I will sometimes be like, yeah, but I'm a piece of shit. So they're probably going to absorb some of that,
Right.
stuff. But I'm probably too hard on myself. But
No, I had that in reverse, where I started to realize that, well, if I'm this much of a piece of shit, my dad must have been a piece of shit too, and he's just lying about it.
yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, and I started to like truly consider like little pieces of stories that I had heard. I'm like, oh, I guess okay, I'm not
Yeah.
totally off the mark.
Yeah, I remember my daughter laughed at the number 69 recently, and I was like, "Hey, come on, don't be doing that." And
Right.
and I laughed, but she saw, and then she's like, "Why did you laugh?" And I'm like, "Cause I'm not an idiot. I know what you don't even know what you're talking about."
Right.
But I'm like, "That's a sex thing," and she's like, and it's like, Jesus. I'm so sorry, Jenny. To my wife, I'm just like, I'm sorry I did this to you. Yeah.
While she just stares out the window, like way far in the distance.
Yeah,
Has
yeah.
been washing one dish for like 20 minutes.
It's being worn down by friction. Yes, honey. Yes, dear. 9/11. Very funny. Very humorous, darling.
You're coaching your kids on like the 3 funny numbers.
Yeah.
There's 420,
69, 9/11.
69,
Yeah.
9/11.
Now, since they were able to speak, anytime somebody says 420, I've trained them to say hell yeah. It's like, hell yeah, man. No, it's so weird, and I think you understand. Like, you're like, oh, what are they going to hear? I think about that shit all the time. Like right now, I'm like getting self-conscious.
Right.
I'm like, oh god.
Well, yeah, your kids are big Coward Hour fans.
Oh, they huge. But I mean, if they're a tenth as inquisitive as I was as a kid, because I wanted to know everything about like my history and my parents and all that shit.
Right.
When I got I got a degree in psychology, no big deal, from California State University of Fresno.
You want to fix me?
I don't know. Oh yeah. But we had to do a genogram, which is like a psychological and a genetic family tree. And so I started learning all this shit about my parents' past, and that's why they are the way they are. My grandparents' past, all that type of stuff. But on my mom's side, I couldn't figure out like shit. So then I'd have to like go to them and ask them, and I'd be like, "Hey, I'm doing this project for college. I kind of want to know, what was your relationship like with your mom to my grandma?" And she's like, "Oh, come on, we don't like talking about that stuff." And I'm just like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just kind of wanted to know." And she's like, it was fine. Like, and I'm just like, okay. So I couldn't get any of that information.
Wow, she stonewalled you.
Pretty much. I mean, I found out some pretty seedy information about my mom, because my mom, whatever, she's a great lady, but she would, she had her past, she had her partying past.
Sure.
And, found out there was a secret marriage I wasn't aware of. That was like, I've only been married 3 times. Like, it's actually 4 times. You didn't know about that, Kevin? Like, to my brothers and sisters telling me. And I was like, no. And they're like, oh yeah, that was, and I've just, there's been a couple of those moments too, where I'm just like,
Really?
who the fuck were these people? Because, and now I think about myself, where I was just like, hey folks, praise the Lord, John 3:16, guys.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, because they were like breaking the chain. They're like, all right, our son's going to be good.
Yeah, yeah. And then to have that, like, my thing, and then this underlining of just like, if I see, I don't know, some dude like trying to make another dude feel uncomfortable by like getting close to his dick or something, I start dying laughing. I'm like, is that Christ-like? Like, is that
It's still
Christ-like? It's still
I
in there.
think Christ would want his buddies to laugh.
I think so.
You don't
Well,
think
yeah.
him and the apostles were like trapping farts and
Oh, I hope
slapping
so.
each other's asses?
Yeah, or just
It had
Jesus
to be
walks
like-
out naked and is like, "What's up, guys? You guys want to get some food?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Jesus, your dick's out.
In the cave or wherever they lived. I don't
Yeah.
fucking remember.
Right.
Had to be like a locker
They
room.
lived in trees.
Yeah, how early into evolution was Jesus? Did they still have gills then?
Yeah, 100%.
What's that fucking? What's the when he goes and when he walks on the choppy waves to get them all, but he's fucking nude and he's like making him grab us. He's like, no, do you want to be safe? You have to fucking.
He's like Dr. Manhattan. He's like, you guys are the ones who are weird about it. This is perfectly natural. You guys are
He's like,
tripping
water
right
into
now.
wine, and then they drink it, and he's like, that was my fucking piss. You fucking idiots, I got you.
Always wait to tell until you've told me how much you liked it. Yeah, that would be good. That'd be good.
It's the last supper. Was like, whoever is grabbing my dick will betray me. And then suddenly Judas is like, oh fuck, I didn't realize.
He pulls the blanket back. They're all their hands are on
all
his
on
legs.
his thigh. Yeah.
Oh man.
They all sat on one side of the table because they were tired of just like someone playing footsie to try to get a reaction.
Passover night, they gathered together and played gay chicken. Oh my god. Yeah.
But yeah, that's right. So I know a little bit from listening to Brain Gel, but you were like super churched as like.
Yeah. I mean, and like I mean, Ben and Jace have a different experience because they were that church seemed so cult like to where I actually still today will look back at the people from the church that I went to and was like, oh, those are good people. Like they had good intentions and
yeah, the people like from their stories sound malicious and weird.
Yeah. But they also think that like anybody that wears a hoodie, is it's a bad example.
Right.
Like
A bunch of Cosbys.
Anyone who sags their pants.
Anybody who sags their pants.
There you go.
Well, they might be right.
Well,
Ben and Jace both do this thing where they'll be like, that guy who like always gets a venti and then like never gets cream and then like asks for cream, that guy, and then the guy that's like gets cinnamon in his milk, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that guy, and he always like plays Sonic the Hedgehog, you know what I mean? And he's great at Guitar Hero.
I have no idea what's going on.
And this is what happens sometimes where they will describe a person
Just
that's
so specific.
a metaphorical person and then be like, all people like that are fucking retards.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was. There's a lot of describing the outfit.
Yes, yeah. He loves fish. He's good at stick tricks, that thing with the stick where you balance another stick with the stick. They love their mom. They're really into sheep. And they're fucking gay, dude.
They do that, then just cut to the only person on earth fitting that description, listening, just crying.
Yeah. I know if they listen to this, they're going to be like, fucking Kevin. It's not what we do. I'm being, extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But
obviously we like them in the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I love those guys. Those are my closest friends.
Of course,
here.
dude.
It's they've been.
Nick and I have recently become close friends.
Be careful.
It's good. You don't like labels?
No, I just didn't. I don't think we're on the same page. Much like I don't need to have the "what are we" conversation with Brendan yet. I'm just kidding, Brendan. I'm totally joking.
The DTR.
I can't have this twice in a week.
You can't have it twice in a week.
Define the relationship.
I accidentally flipped the chessboard on Valentine's Day.
Oh shit!
You love to flip the chessboard, dude.
I love to,
which I respect. I mean, don't get me wrong. I respect it. Like you're not, if you're down to your last $2 in Monopoly, fuck it. The game's over. But
Yep.
I think that you also tend to self-sabotage a little
I
bit.
do.
Did you did a little self-sabotaging on Valentine's?
Yeah. Well, do you know about my tea journey?
Here, let me just.
Your testosterone?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it.
Okay.
I mean, I as a fellow struggler with low T, I get it.
Is that true?
You ever tried the gel?
I haven't tried anything, but
You want some gel?
Do I need a gel?
I'll give you a squirt.
Squirt them up.
I don't think one squirt does.
Squirt them up, dude.
You literally just give me a full blown like steroid shot in my ass on the podcast. Can we work out for the rest of this podcast?
It's like a used needle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're going on the low T journey.
Oh yeah, so I was diagnosed with low T because I asked the doctor why I never come.
Yeah.
That has not fixed itself. But they did give me some fun gel.
Does your dick like make a noise?
What do you mean?
Like if you're not coming, but you just like do you?
No, but I
have
start
a-
to make noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just like running out of. It's like a car running out of gas.
Yeah.
That's me when I fuck. So I'm just like.
Oh, dude.
Sounds like a Studebaker breaking down.
It's like an old timey like Hanna-Barbera car.
Yeah.
It's like the steam car in Willy Wonka that travels from like one room to the next only.
Your dick just shoots a perfect circle of cloud of dust across the room.
Of just like dried cum from
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, dude, she comes up from your lap covered in soot. She just looks like.
Yeah, my cum stays in my body so long it comes out black.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's hardcore, dude.
Yeah, you know.
All right. I apologize. I keep interrupting with more you coming bits.
This is
Yeah.
the most, it's the most Crick story ever. Go,
Okay,
tell
good.
it, tell it.
I'm trying to think. I only want to tell the details that are funny because I don't want to like.
Right, you can't dox this
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
So Samantha from
Basically, just I tried to have a conversation. And it didn't go how I wanted. So recently, I've been making very snap alpha male decisions that are actually incredibly retarded.
I've been trying to explain this. When a beta tries to like, when you try to skip straight to alpha, you just become a Karen. Do you know what I mean? It's just immediate. You're just asking for like the chef's name at McDonald's, like, and that's kind of what you do a little bit. When you assert yourself, you just kind of have like, can I speak to the manager energy?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Because like I've been trying to find a new job. I've been relating a lot to like I think something you said on your podcast
Yeah.
about like every job is just you go in and they're like, well, we are 100% commission based, and you actually need to pay us to even
yeah.
attempt to get
Yeah.
leads.
By the way, you haven't paid for your oxygen today. So unfortunately,
Yeah.
you're
Every-
working the negative now.
Everything's been like that, and it's like so clearly a scam. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to the bathroom during work to do phone interviews,
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
that's the best.
I'm like, look, I would love to come in for an interview, but you probably have my resume there. You can tell that I'm very qualified. So I'm going to need you to break down exactly the commission base structure for me before I'll even come in for an interview. And the other person like also doesn't care because they're being scammed. Also.
Yeah. No, that's so right. That's right on the money.
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, I'm no longer interested. And you can hear them like, okay, I don't care. Like one way or the other.
Yeah, and it's weird because the positions are usually like executive or like it's these huge like. Would you like to be the chief operating officer for our business, Jerry Insurance? And you're like, oh yeah, what's it pay? Nothing at all, unless you sell something, and then we'll give you a couple of bucks.
Yeah, or it'll say like the salary in Indeed, it'll say like 60,000 to 150,000.
Yeah. You're like,
I don't know if that's right.
yeah. So if I do nothing, I get 60 grand. Just want to make this
Like,
clear.
no, we'll kill you.
Okay, so you've interviewed me. Now I want to interview you a little bit. So can I be high when I'm on the job? Just FYI, I just want to know what my perks are, you know?
Will there be literal perks? Do you have Percocet at the office?
Hell yeah. Gotta get them perks.
Oh, that'd be sick to just take perks and do cold calls.
Bro, that's your commission. That's what you're working for.
Hell yeah.
If you're
Dude, I would love to relapse and do cold calls.
Yeah.
That would be so sick.
Every time you make a sale, they just bring over another bottle of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Just like,
Woo, baby.
time to celebrate. Yeah.
I remember one time when I was working at Wells Fargo, I came in still drunk the next day because they would always have me work Saturday mornings. And I told my boss, like, to her face, I was like, you can have me work Saturday mornings. I will not drink Friday night. She's like, we don't have this kind of, like, why are you telling me? But they didn't give a shit because it was Wells Fargo. It was a criminal enterprise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one day I came in, like, still drunk, and I sold so many credit cards. So I'm just like, listen, buddy, tell me about your credit. Just like swindling college kids.
It's easier to not give a fuck about humanity when you're fucked up.
When you're fucked up in a tie.
Have I told the story about the time that I still overestimating how long the acid would last?
Oh, Jesus.
I had to go to work at the mall at the job where I repaired cell phones at a kiosk. So I'm like,
that's
dude,
brutal.
Dude, so I'm just like
Working with small parts.
working with
Yeah.
well. What I wound up doing was like I tried to repair. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been on acid or just looked at a cell phone.
I mean, this is all right up my alley. Because I
Combined-
worked at Apple and
Right.
T-Mobile and all those places. So.
when
It's
you're,
like Uncut Gems. You just zoom into the phone and then zoom out in the
Yes.
factory where the guy's killing himself.
no, literally. So like when you're on the tail end of an acid trip that you thought was going to end like 7 hours ago, and you're just like looking at the motherboard of a phone, everything falls into question.
Yeah.
You don't know anything to be true anymore. So what I did was, I didn't. The nice thing about these kiosk jobs, just like aside from just being like terrified that I'm just like there's just seas of people passing me in the mall.
Yeah.
I didn't have a boss. There was no supervisor like on duty. So I put the screen back on the one that I'd been working on, got that back to the customer, and then every time a new customer came to get their phone repaired, I told them that we couldn't do it today because I had locked the tools in a drawer. Which was
Great excuse.
I'm just here to let you know we can't take your money.
We can't. Yeah.
They won't send me home, but I have.
That's actually a pretty good strategy.
Well,
That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. My boss is gonna come over and she's like, "Brendan, where's your mouse and keyboard?" And I'm just gonna be like dangling keys off my finger. I don't know.
You swallow. Yeah. I don't know.
well, the,
She has me just heaving my monitor out the window.
Yeah. What happened to my monitor? And you're like, you just threw it out the window.
Did I?
Did I really?
Yes, you absolutely did.
what did wind up happening at that job is because it was a bad when you get your cell phone repaired at a third party place, voids the warranty, and so we would have many instances where people would bring us their phones to fix a cracked screen, and we would hand it back to them completely non-functional. So
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it's not the first time it happened to me, I tried to I told the guy, I was like, I'm gonna make this a personal project of mine, and I tried to take the phone home over the weekend, get it working. After a while, I just straight up started telling people it's a scam. Do not give me your phone. I'm we'll break it. We will absolutely. And then just as they found out that I was doing that and started getting Ralph, the manager, was going to come in and talk to me. I got a job at Rosetta Stone and told him that I quit because he wasn't giving me money for lunch.
So you just moved to the other wing of the mall?
No. I moved to the kiosk next door. I could still see it.
Real?
Yeah, because he had to cover my shifts. So when I quit without 2 weeks' notice, Ralph had to cover my shifts, so I would just be at Rosetta Stone. There's no wall between us, and he would just be glaring at me while he was fucking fixing phones.
That is a freeing moment because I had that when you're at such a low level of job that you can always get another one.
So
yes.
yeah.
I quit Wells Fargo to work at M&T Bank, across the street.
Yeah.
It was such a lateral move.
Right. You're like, I'm so comfortable living on $22,000 a year.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
I can work anywhere. Yeah.
My rent was $300.
Yeah, exactly. I'll buy less pizza. Oh no. Oh no.
I was
Wells
living like a
Fargo.
fucking idiot, and I remember when I got fired from M&T Bank, I had $4,000, and it lasted me a year.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. Oh, let me tell you about making $4,000
That's pretty
last.
good. Yeah. Oh man, I was.
Well, you get paid $4,000 quarterly.
Yeah.
Well, that's changing. It's all about to change.
Yeah,
I'm so I used to do a bit about it, but that I won't do on here. But I just the envy of going into some of my friends' houses and seeing how shitty the house was, and that none of the dudes gave a fuck. They were all paying $75 a month to live there, and it's just mattresses because that's the only way. Yeah. Have you guys been to? There's this place in historic Filipino town, I believe. But there was literally 12 comics living in this house. And it was this huge. It was kind of like this, but it was all around the entire rim of the living room was
just
sleeping
barracks.
bags.
Yeah.
And there's so much a part of me that's when I hear you're oh, I could stretch $4,000, for a year. That's now as with 2 kids and everything. I'm that's not even a possibility.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want.
I love how in that scenario, comics are living like heroin addicts in the 70s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so attracted to that shit. I really am. I don't know if I'm just an undercover scumbag, but I just want to live in a place that has multiple fist holes through the drywall.
It's minimalism.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I've just been used to it for so long, but I'm that's kind of my. Or maybe also I've become accustomed to chaos. There's probably some mental damage, but. I feel really comfortable in just a scumbag house. Just
Yeah.
I like knowing that there's not much I can do to fuck this situation up.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I hate fancy dinners. I hate really nice stuff. I'm no, everything should get shit on it, and that would be okay.
Right.
It's I mean not shit literally maybe, but just that anxiety of that's mom's good china.
Right.
I hate that shit.
I get really into having one nice thing.
Yeah.
I get really into before I sold it was my record player. Like my room, the cat would throw up on the floor and I wouldn't. It's a tile floor. I'll clean it up later. 6 months go by, but my record player was fucking. I was
As long as the
nobody
cat
can touch it.
Always throws up in the same spot. You got to train her.
That she's got a little lane that she stays in next
a
to
little
the bed.
throw up lane.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. I cannot wait to clean it.
The vomitorium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I remember my buddies like having airsoft gun fights in the house when I was in college, and like being like in front of the TV, like, hey, like, watch the TV, boys. Like nothing else I cared about at all.
I feel like we almost had that when I first moved here, and then it ended very soon.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we were in. It was.
Would
it
you
was,
have an adult move in or something?
Yeah. Well, they kicked the kid out. That was basically what happened. Yeah, dude. So my bed was down here. It was, and like literally the corner of this room, I had a little dresser, a lamp, and a bed right here. But I was just
that was
like,
his nightstand.
right. No. I actually had a wood one from downstairs. That's from the old house, and Kevin. It was just slumber party mode 24/7.
I love
dude,
it.
it was the best. We'd stay up all night watching like Denny's fights on YouTube, just like feet kicked up. It was awesome.
I mean, it depended who was over. If people were cool, we wouldn't search for Denny's fights. We'd search for something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's. All right. Denny, you stick a toe in the water with Denny's fights, and
Yeah.
then,
And then you see how they react.
Exactly. Yeah, dude.
Brendan would come downstairs, and this is like I was like barely working. He was like going to work, and I would just be like, I would have like a 7-hour YouTube playlist queued up of just like Russian like algorithm created kids entertainment because I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
psycho.
dude, that's absolutely not good for my brain. Like,
No.
I could have been doing fucking anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just wasting the hours in the day. I do the same shit, man. I watched a video before I came over here that was 45 minutes long. It was the world's strongest man does a backflip. That was the entire video. And it was like, this is how you stretch. And the guy's like, I'm big. It's hard for me to stretch because I'm big. And the other guy's like, I can stretch easy because I'm a gymnast. And then it's like, and then they stretch. And it was 45 minutes.
Wait. What the fuck is it? What is this? Is it actually the world's strongest man?
Yeah. Literally, it was the world's strongest man and like some guy that was like an Olympic gymnast. And his whole thing is to get people on his channel to do a backflip, I guess.
Yeah.
I
I've been
literally
thinking about
opened
becoming
YouTube.
the world's strongest man.
Dude, I mean, you got a head start already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you'll start shooting up,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
then-
you have to.
Dude, what if
I'm not going to buy steroids. I'm just going to inject the topical gel that they prescribe me.
have you started on the topical gel?
Oh, yeah. I've been on it for like a month.
Okay,
Month
okay.
and a half, something like that.
There's always a concern that you'll like turn into a monster when you start using testosterone.
I
or
did
something.
notice more aggression.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would definitely say that Valentine's night sounded a little bit like your fucking Dr. Jekyll moment, dude. or Mr.
Yeah,
Hyde.
We never got to that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's not. I didn't get angry or anything. I was just like, I think I should take you home now. And then for like 2 days, I was like, well, it was a hard decision, but I think I made the right one.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, I'm just in the sauna, which feels like hell, and you have nothing to do but think your own thoughts. And I'm just like, what the fuck did I do?
Oh shit.
It's funnier than that because Isaac and I were texting. We were like, everybody. It was the most classic crick. Like, you had a great Valentine's Day. You were telling the chat how good your Valentine's Day was, and then at the stroke of midnight,
I'm like, I fucked it.
literally at the stroke of midnight, you decided to blow it up.
You're like, they don't have Heinz motherfucking ketchup in this restaurant? I'm going to take you home. I'm out of here. You're like, alpha moves. In your mind, you're like, fucking alpha moves. If they don't have Heinz, I'm fucking out. Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
I love hardball negotiating, and that applies to areas of my life where it is no business being.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. You walk away from the table all the time. It was not a power move.
Yeah, the secret to negotiating is to be willing to walk away from the table.
Yeah.
Except then you get pretty far and you look back and you're like, oh no, the chair isn't even there.
That's exactly it.
You never even showed up for the table. That's the problem.
Someone is making you a great offer, and you're just like, I'm willing to walk. You just walk away from money.
You're like,
I just reach down and I use my arm to just swipe stacks of hundreds off the table.
You would be so bad on Shark Tank. They would love it. Like, whatever you were pitching, they would love it. And you're like, Sharks, I just don't know if this is for me. Like, Mark Cuban's like, I'm going to give you $1 million.
We're going to give you $1 million to do your racism podcast. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Suck my cock.
you walking past a crumbled up $100 bill on the ground. You're like, What do I look like, a little bitch? You walk past.
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't trying to bend over for no $100.
Well, the
Bend
problem
over?
is like,
What are you, gay, dude?
yeah.
Alpha moves.
The problem is that I've spent so much of my life being meek that then, like, anytime I'm in any situation that's like any sort of disagreement or conflict, what I'm really doing is like redoing a prior conflict or argument the way I should have then.
Oh,
In a
absolutely.
way that does not apply to this situation
Brendan.
at all.
Let me tell you something. We've all noticed.
Yes. I'm more self-aware than you think. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Right, that's complicated.
Do sometimes you yell dad in arguments?
That sounds like a sci-fi short story about like AI or something. Like, you're saying,
Yeah.
but like,
I don't do stand-up anymore, but I just had an idea of a bit where it's like I've never yelled another woman's name during sex, but I have during arguments.
that's pretty good.
That yeah. Oh man. No, I sometimes I get my kids' names screwed up all the time. I'll be yelling at the dog and then I'll call the dog Annie. And then my wife's like, "Are you yelling at
You're
Annie?"
fucking the dog and
Yeah.
you're yelling out your ex-girlfriend's name.
I'm like, "Jenny, you've gotten so tiny. Damn, you hairy. I like that natural look, baby." It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're like, Jenny, why is the dog talking to us?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? Out of the house.
But
Out.
anyway, I should just,
No.
I should just say because she's gonna listen to this.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely
I've
listening to
made
this
some.
one.
I made that was a very silly decision. Anyway, I did not mean for this to become content.
Oh,
Does anyone else have a topic? They'd
I
like to
apologize.
introduce?
Oh no, I don't think. I think that it was. Do you think that was over the line?
No, I
All
don't.
right, we're good.
I'm just.
Hey,
You're
let me
you're just
tell
a nice guy and
You're
you
a good
worry
guy.
about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want me to talk to her?
Women. Yeah.
Dude.
Here's the thing about women: they love when you explain yourself through media that you create.
Yeah, I'll talk to her. I'm gonna sit her down.
Okay. Yeah. We'll have her on next week.
No, I don't know about all that.
That's no.
I don't want
what-
to break our streak of having no. Well, we deleted the one woman that we had
At her request.
at her request.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh,
And,
yeah,
and it
dude.
wasn't because of anything that was wrong about the episode. It was because your friendship ended.
Right. But I wasn't. No. But I wasn't the one who was like, we have to delete. It was at her request. I was
Yeah.
like, look, I'll leave that document.
We need to
online.
delete that
friendship-
episode and me from your life.
Right.
The friendship ended during the episode recording?
No. Oh no. The episode was probably one of our best. It was a really good episode. But no, our friendship ended months later.
Oh, so then she's like, hey, that old one, get rid of that.
Yeah, well, it was like there was a list of demands, and then that was the last. And she was, and the last one was like, "Oh, and delete my episode of Coward Hour." And I was like, "All right, you don't want to be famous? That's fine."
Yeah.
the
You're
one favor
lost.
I did you, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, are you going to give back those 6 Twitter followers that I gave you as well?
Are
Ma'am?
you going to give back those 6 Twitter followers who all immediately harassed you for being a woman?
Yeah.
they did. Yeah, they did
Oh,
do that.
no.
Yeah. Stop doing that, boys. We're going to have a woman on soon, and be nice to her
Yeah.
because...
You actually didn't
you should.
ask me my pronoun before I came on to the
That's
podcast.
true.
I actually am a woman.
I noticed you were growing your hair out.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I just want to be pretty. Really. It makes, if I feel pretty, I act pretty.
Right.
You know? It's all positive. you
That's
know?
what
Yeah,
being
yeah.
a woman is, right? Being pretty. That's how
Yeah.
you're going to define gender.
Absolutely.
being pretty?
Yeah. Women, look,
look, when you... When,
No, come on, Kevin.
look, if you're not, you're defined. Here's all I want to know if you're a woman. You got that ass?
Right.
And what are we talking about in the titty department? You know what I mean? And
you got enough of either one of those? Look,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's all women are anyway. Tits and ass. Hey, I just need a place to make my babies at. You know what I mean? And then leave them.
look, I support all trans people, non-binary people, but no fat chicks.
Hell
Fellas.
yeah. You got me.
Well, they got to be fat in the right places. I hate when chicks are fat in the wrong places.
Like just the skull.
Yeah, that shit sucks, dude.
I hate when they have a withered, undeveloped body and a giant brainiac
Do
skull.
you remember Rubber Johnny?
Yeah.
I hate when bitches look like Rubber Johnny.
Fucking hate that shit.
Oh yeah, but you know,
So I obviously, those are my true feelings.
definitely.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, I support your journey, and when you make When you make your Facebook status calling out your kids for not respecting your pronouns, I'm gonna like it.
Dude, they're so insensitive. They're so insensitive. Said I look silly in my sundress. Just like, you bitch. Yeah.
I can't wait for Kevin's new Christmas card where his giant tits are just pushing his kids out of the frame.
Okay, kids, get out
He
of the way
has,
of
like,
mommy's jugs. All right.
Guinness Book of World Records tits.
Yeah. This is the Christmas card right here, folks. Just my tits with a wreath on it, and then like my kids, like half of one of their eyes on either side.
It's like a mad fold-in.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I remember this. Do you remember they would show her on Spike TV? I think she was in the Guinness Book of World Records. Do you remember the woman who like held the record for crushing beer cans with her tits?
I have seen that video.
Right, dude. And
Yeah.
you know what's so funny? I remember being like 11, being like, whoa, she's so hot. That's probably like the hottest woman ever.
You just a bunch of
was a,
circular scars on the bottom side of her tits.
Yes.
When you can see where they just like apple cored out the nipple.
Oh, dude, that's brutal. There's some. I have to tap out. I got some porn stars that like as they get up, as they like go up, I'm like, there's a point where I tap out where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's where they fucking like they literally screwed the nipple back on. Mm-hmm. It's like that looks wacky.
Yep. It's just a piece of gum.
Yeah.
Last night, my daughter was playing with some slime. It was like a hypercolor slime. It was pretty cool.
Right.
And I ended up fashioning like a bunch of nipples out of it and then putting it all over my son's chest. And then like,
You sound like a fun dad.
yeah, well, I mean, it was like
Like a dog.
9:30, which is like past, they should be getting ready for bed. And like I was watching a movie with them and just doing that. And then I sent my son in to see my wife, and she was like mad, but she couldn't be mad because it was funny. I also put nipples on his face. Like I put one in the middle of his forehead and then on each cheek. And you should be okay. That's funny. Like it was just, it was good. It was a good win.
That's so. It's like, dude, you could. All right, you guys can stay up late, but only for a good reason.
Yeah,
Like that was.
exactly.
That was like in my house. The only time I was allowed to stay up late was when they aired Saving Private Ryan uncensored on like ABC.
Really?
But yeah, my dad really wanted me to see that movie every year.
Don't look
My
away,
dad tried
son.
to. My dad tried to show me Saving Private Ryan was on, and my mom like made him send me out of the room.
Yeah.
Well, my dad literally, he was like, son, come down. See, he's like, we're going to tonight. It was like on like Memorial Day or Veterans Day. He's like, yeah, they show Saving Private Ryan uncensored. I'm like, why? He's like, because it's so important. That was,
Jesus.
but
Speaking of that movie, should we dive into a related topic?
oh, I mean, hang on. I think Kevin wants to have a career.
No,
traditional career.
I mean, I would love that, but I do a podcast every week that prevents me from having
Yeah.
not only a career but relationships with normal human beings.
Dude,
Yeah.
I spiraled today because I saw this on Twitter. I saw this girl that I went on a couple dates with, and liked her well enough, and like thought she was really cool. I saw her tweeting her text conversation with Seth Simons, and I was like, oh boy. I was like, I'm
Oh,
fucking
really?
1 degree of separation away from that guy.
Yeah.
From, and like.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
Well, we could use a bump.
Yeah, we could use a bump.
I think sincerity is at its all time like neededness, and like it's like a special thing to like be kind of an uncensored version of yourself, and
Yeah.
and I don't feel like even because I get upset on my podcast sometimes because the guys will talk about stuff and I'm like, yeah, this is not right, whatever. I turn into a little bitch, as one of our Twitter followers put it. And but I think it's good to be whatever. I feel like the more I get sensitive about it and I'm vocal about it, the more I have people like come up and they're just like, hey, you're just being funny, you don't have to feel bad. And I'm like, okay.
Without sounding too pretentious, I do feel like people underestimate the value of like controlled transgression.
Yeah.
Just socially between. I mean, and again, like a podcast isn't necessarily like a private social setting, but like you do need a release where you don't fucking mean what you're saying. It's not
Yes.
about anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's I mean not to compare it to our Lord Jesus Christ or anything.
oh, you have
but
to. We love that.
It's good to have things in your life that are kind of like it's an unconditional interaction. You know what I mean? Like if you have good friends that like know you and you maybe slip up and say something that was obviously a joke to you but could have come off, but they've known you for 10 years, so they're like, oh, that's Kevin. He's just he's a good guy or whatever. But like the fewer those relationships you have, then all of your relationships become these like, am I tuning into the zeitgeist? Is what's appropriate here, but still being true to my personality as a funny person, and all that stuff. Like exactly what you said. The what did you say? You
Controlled transgression.
Yeah.
Controlled transgression. Just be like, okay, how can I exist in the world without pissing anybody off?
We know so many people like that who never get to relax.
Absolutely. I feel like that when I'm in big crowds a lot of the time. And if I'm feeling particularly self-conscious or I'm too high or whatever.
Right.
And I'm just like, everybody's going to fucking hate me if I say 3 words. Like, not any three specific words.
You look down at your hand where you've written them.
They're like crossed out. Don't do these. No. But there is like that kind of feeling like, I can't really if I just take my guard all the way down and I just am myself naturally, is that going to be acceptable, here? Are people going to give me the benefit of the doubt that I'm not a piece of shit or whatever?
I always find out about 3 months into an office job.
Look, this is why everybody criticizes me, but this is why I feel like my policy is best, where I make a horrible first impression, but then I keep showing up in people's lives, and then they're like, "Oh, he's all right." But I go hard in that first meeting where it's like where people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, it's better to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, now that you explain it, I support it. But like at times in the past, I've been like, Nick, why are you ramping it up for these strangers? And you're like, this is how I always have. It's like, well, no.
but I'm rich. Look, my life is rich with friends, dude.
That's
Hell
true.
yeah.
What
Hell
can
yeah.
I say? Like,
Yeah,
Well,
I can't argue with the results.
In a romantic relationship, in a platonic relationship, if you are yourself from the beginning, there never has to be this point of revealing, what I mean?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you're going to get people that are going to be attracted to you based on who you actually are, as opposed to the mask that you're putting on or whatever.
You're learning that.
Yeah.
You're getting there.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I spaced out.
Oh, okay. He was talking about like in any relationship, be it romantic or platonic, like if you just are yourself immediately instead of trying to like conceal.
Yeah, I'm doing that
And
this time.
And now look,
which is why
I'm also guilty of deleting every mention of this podcast from my Twitter and Instagram when I have a date. But
yeah.
Yeah, it is a weird thing. I don't like having to introduce somebody new into my life romantically would be terrifying at this point because
I mean, your wife would be so mad.
yeah, she'd be pissed. But I told her, step aside. If you're not going to get the job done, if you're not going to maintain this hog the way that God intended it.
Look, when I'm
she's still bearing fruit.
Oh yeah,
she? Oh, yeah?
she's barren. No, I mean that barren fruit. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I sit under
some
her
weeks-
tree and enjoy her choice fruits from time to time. My beloved.
But yeah.
Nick, I feel like you flip the chessboard, but it's like you're pulling it out of the box and you just fling it.
Yeah.
It was never set up.
I'm like, guess what we're playing? Just into the room.
You just throw it into the fireplace.
But whereas 99 people may hate that, there's going to be one guy in there that's going to be like, I like that. And that'll probably be Brendan and be like, oh, now we're best. Now we're friends again.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, you trim the fat.
Yeah.
And you make friends for life.
Yeah.
This is psychotic to reverse judge because look, I've bombed so many social interactions. So it's psychotic to be like, but I meant to do that.
Yeah. Just being true to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird, man, because like all my closest friends were made in church. Right. And I'm very close with these guys, but they're still, a lot of them are still Christians and they're still very active in church. One of my buddies goes to Romania every year to like do missions work and stuff. And we're still very close friends. But it's just like I stopped going to church, and now I'm like saying fuck, on the internet radio, and it is a weird thing to like put upon my family and my friends to be like, hey, that guy that I was working real hard to be like perfect, I'm not gonna try anymore, and I hope you're okay with that.
Right.
And most of the people have been great, which is a testament to a lot of those guys or whatever, but yeah, it is fucked up because I see people all the time enter into relationships and they're going, we started off the date by reading a little bit, from the Quran, and then we went to see ballet. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, you don't. What do you? You're Jewish, and you're reading from the Quran, and you're like going to ballet. These are all things you hate, and you're like, but dude, she was really hot though, dude. It's like, okay.
It's like, was she Muslim?
Yeah.
You just like, you bring the Quran, you're like, I thought this would be a good first date, right?
She's in a full burqa. You just think she's really hot. You're like,
I have an inkling.
yeah, I'm playing the long con on this broad right here.
Quran into ballet is a bizarre. That's fucking crazy.
My brain is not great.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I figured that was maybe. I thought you were referencing like a specific.
no. I the more random I
mean,
try to get,
anytime
the harder it is to follow me.
Yeah. Look, women love the Quran.
Women
We all
love the
know
Quran and ballet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I
You know how like women love like they love like Ted Bundy and like the Boston bomber.
They do.
Do you think there's any women who are just
don't know if
horny
they-
for the 9/11 hijackers?
Oh, I bet.
Oh,
They
definitely, dude.
They're like a Teen Bop poster.
Yeah.
But it's just blurry airport footage.
Yeah. It just says Osama on a notebook written in puff paint.
Did she get in an argument with her boyfriend? She's like, well, at least he was able to get something done.
Yeah.
At least he could finish a plan.
It says
When SEAL Team 6 took him out, women are just like holding candles like when Kurt Cobain died.
it's like 26 virgins and me. Or what is it? 72? What is it?
72 virgins
Yeah,
and me.
71 virgins and me.
So I'm trying to get through right now the list of Nintendo DS games that he was playing. I'm trying to, because you know that
You're trying to play all of his
I'm trying
collection?
to do the Bin Laden DS playlist.
What did he have? I have no
so-
idea about this.
One of
Didn't
them
he
was
have hentai?
he did have some hentai. The one that I started, it's really long. It's annoying. I know that he had Yoshi's Island DS on an emulator, so I downloaded that because I'm trying to get through that one. And then I'd have to look up the fucking list I have on my computer. But
You know, as Ben would say, that dude's fucking twisted. Fucking
Do you think he
hentai,
liked
bro?
that stuff, or do you think it's like when you get your grandpa a computer for Christmas and he's like, "Great, put it on the desk"?
no, man, dude, I feel like Bin Laden was.
You think he was a gamer?
I feel like honestly, I feel like Bin Laden because
He had magazines of Nintendo Power throughout the cave. he had the Contra code tattooed on his forearm.
he basically just became a gamer.
They shot him in the head and brains just splattered the Funko Pops.
Wasn't he like? Didn't they like catch him like getting snacks? He just like looked back at like the night vision rifle, just like and got.
There was blood and gamer fuel everywhere.
Just bullets tearing through the Doritos bag.
His turtle head, his turtle beach
like-
headphones were destroyed.
It's like when they get Don Corleone, the oranges are rolling down the street. It's just Mountain Dew cans.
They searched through this long cave. At the end is a $1,600 gamer chair. It's like, damn.
Do you think he got pussy in there?
That's a great question because wasn't there somebody who was getting pussy? Who am I thinking of?
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein was definitely getting
He was
pussy.
getting a lot.
Yeah,
He was living that King David style,
dude,
you know.
bro. So was Gaddafi.
Really?
Have you seen Josh Kuderne enlightened me to this on the Baltimore episode? But Gaddafi had like bikini guards, where, like he had like women with
Jesus.
rifles who were just like full like Bond villain, just like pink bikinis.
It's insane. I mean, I I'd love to judge the guy, but if somebody was like, if you rose to power, because a lot of those people are like rising to power at such an early age.
Yeah.
They're just if you're constantly getting affirmed, like, yep, that's if you want to do that, bikini guards,
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, what a fucking pimp.
That's why I'm waiting.
You got to think that he's like he does because didn't like I'm trying to remember where I heard this from, but somebody was trying to be like tell me that like actually Gaddafi was good, and I don't remember what they said, but that thought stayed with me where I was like, oh yeah, I think Gaddafi was good or something. Like I don't
I
remember.
have no idea.
But, no, just because he had like apparently he had like gold and ammo set aside for the people, which that's pretty. He's thinking about the people or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's Andrew Yang's plan. Everyone gets 100 bullets a month. And look, you can do whatever you want with them, and that's just going to stimulate the economy.
I'm sure that he's looking at all the gold and all the guns. He's like, well, I did all this for the people. I should get one for me, right?
Yeah,
You're a fucking bikini guard.
One for the people, one for me, one for the people.
What I would do is I want my guards to be effective, so I want bikini guards, but they're wearing body armor with like those shirts from the boardwalk that have like tits and a bikini
Yes.
screen printed on the front.
Just airbrush tits on
Yeah,
fucking riot gear.
airbrush tits on Kevlar.
That really does seem like an Adam Sandler movie villain.
Oh,
It's
totally,
like
dude.
the bikini clad.
The pictures are nuts.
I got to see this stuff.
Yeah, hang on, maybe I can pull it up.
Yeah, you're like some guy spends all of his money because he wants fembots. You'll make me fembots now or die.
And then when the people turn on him, they immediately, I mean, they're not good guards.
No,
They immediately get him and drag him behind a truck.
Yeah, they die immediately, but they look. But you saw their tits though, right? You see, I mean, yeah, bad security, but those jugs though, right? Gaddafi, my man, Gaddafi,
Yeah, my man, Gaddafi.
My man.
I'm gonna. I'll show it to you after the bot. I'll ask
Hell
Darren
yeah.
to send it to me. But it's so fucking funny.
Hell yes.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that must go to your head. That's why I'm going to wait until my 30s to become a warlord.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's important to become a warlord a little later in life. You know, you got a little
Later
more
in life.
wisdom under your belt.
Yeah.
What
do you think your role is going to be after the event?
The event?
Oh yeah. This is deep coward hour lore. We're convinced that like you're very against this. From what I hear on Brain Jail, you're very against society's collapsing. You think things are going to equalize or
I mean, I don't know if I would put it into like a coherent sentence like that.
right.
Man, what? So okay, so ask the question again. So you're saying after society collapses?
Yeah, what's your
The
role
event.
going to be?
I'm just gonna be the take it easy guy. I'm gonna walk around with like a backpack full of Bud Light, you know, and just like be chucking it on the streets. Like, hey guys,
Let's chill out.
we don't have any running water, but let's get fucked up. All right, come on.
Yeah.
I have no idea. That is a terrifying thought.
I have it constantly.
Yeah, I mean, I probably just head up to the mountains.
You never
know?
just stare at the sky and think about it?
I have here's how my brain works. A lot of times if there's ever a situation where I have zero control over the outcome, regardless of the amount of energy or effort I put into that problem, a lot of the time, unless it's about like me and my like my gross psychological hating myself or whatever, I usually will set it aside. So I'll be like, oh, you know, the world economy is going to collapse, and it's you know, we're all going to be on fire here in a couple of weeks or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah,
Can't wait.
it's going to happen. You know, either way, I can't.
Right. You can control your reaction to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd load up the Prius. You know, I'd grab the kids and just drive up to the mountains, try to maybe rob a few pot stores on the way. You know, just grab at least 2 plants. You know,
Actually, I shouldn't ask you this on the podcast.
go ahead.
No, I shouldn't. I'll ask you after we're done.
Okay.
As a man who enjoys pot, I have I'll ask you after we're done.
Okay. Have you ever smoked weed out of a 9-year-old's butthole, bro?
Then you haven't smoked weed, Kevin. You've got to get. You have to.
We open a
You're
trap
basically
door.
sober, bro. Yeah. Skull bongs, dude. Skull bongs. That's the way. That's where it's at.
Oh,
dude.
that's some warlord shit.
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, man. I think about that. Having kids after the event is going to be tough. You got a lot on your plate.
I know.
Having those
I
little
know.
tykes running around. I reverse. I think about like the thing that I most dread about like aliens showing up or whatever is like having to deal with like my father's breakdown. Like him having to
shit.
grapple like existential. I'm just like, yeah, Dad, I've been thinking about this stuff for like 10 years. I know that you have been paying your taxes or whatever, but like
You're surrounded by rabid dogs on like a pillar that's barely keeping you away. He's got a pointed stick in his hand. He's like, I had a whole retirement set.
it's literally that.
I worked my whole life for this. And this I don't know what I'm going to do. You're like, Dad, the dogs. Stab the dogs with the stick. It's like my 401k was beautiful. And I thought we were just going to have the last war, you know?
I think that after the event, my dad and my relationship would be better. I mean, it's fine, but like, there's no food and everything. Then we're fishing out of necessity. Like, yeah, we finally got out to do this.
Dude, yeah. Honestly, I think it might be the best thing psychologically for society if there was a major breakdown. Like the internet is gone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at least the
electricity.
internet.
Yeah.
The internet would be.
Yeah.
It's just the problem is like with that. Once society breaks down, like I really think about, like, my family has spent so much time buying into, like, Mary Englebright quotes of, like, well, like, if you're feeling bad, everything will actually be fine. Like, that was a conversation that I had with my dad on the phone where he was like, I'm of the philosophy that everything kind of evens out for everybody. I'm like, that's demonstrably not true. Like, I'm like, do you want me to send you pictures of, like, children with distended bellies?
Yeah.
My mom and I got into like a heated argument last time I was home because she's like, "You really think the government would just murder Epstein?"
Yeah.
Oh, yes, and so does everyone else.
Yeah, it's pretty cut and dry. That is one of the weirdest things ever, to have it go from Alex Jones to like this fringe internet 4chan conspiracy to like mainstream news.
Yes,
Everywhere you look, it's Epstein, and it's like for a while at least. It's a trip, man.
It's fun. When I first moved out here,
And let me tell you, girls love talking about it.
Well, they got to. I mean, the girls were the biggest victims of that shit. You know?
Completely.
So it's like they should. Women listen to a man when he's speaking.
Yeah.
About Epstein.
Unless it's Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes.
Then stop listening to him.
Hey, Jeffrey Epstein, time's up.
Yeah. Anytime a woman gets mad at me for talking about Epstein, I start off the sentence with pumpkin pie, keep it down. All right. I go, look, sweet stuff. Just stay there and look pretty. Papa's talking about Epstein right now. Okay.
To your daughter.
Yeah. My,
I'm imagining like a woman in like an 80s like padded shoulder blazer giving a presentation about anything but Epstein, and we're all chomping cigars with like white contrast collars, like
You trying to educate these broads? Good luck. I told them about Epstein 4 years ago. They were, the bachelor this, the bachelor that.
I was into Epstein shit when I first moved out here because I'd been out in LA for 2 weeks and I was like, I made a bad choice. Time to get
it's time to become Republican.
Right, time to, and I just I just disappeared into this rabbit hole of like Pizzagate and Epstein, and everybody called me an asshole. And now look at me.
Well, the thing about Epstein that people
Now look at you, still reviled.
like Epstein being a fact of existing in the books and the connections, it is this golden thread throughout the conspiracy that our leaders are fucking monsters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
at the very least complicit.
Yes, and so like I know a lot of people, if they're not that it's all I want to talk about Epstein 24/7,
right?
But it's like the reason that's important is because it like points to it's just such a glaring issue, that just nails the fact that the powers that be are fucking monsters.
Bro,
a lot of them.
I feel like Galileo insisting that the Earth revolves around the sun. I'm like, that's literally where I am.
Yeah, you're getting murdered.
Heresy.
How about Steven Spielberg's daughter, huh?
Oh, have you seen this shit?
I have heard about it. From, of course, Ben Avery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, we got to have him back on.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so funny because the poll quote is she's like she reveals that she was like abused by monsters in the industry, and then the quote immediately under that it was nobody of note or in my immediate family.
Jesus.
And
It's like she was like, I was abused by monsters, and then like a laser trains on her forehead.
Yeah,
She's like, none of whom are famous or powerful.
Spielberg backpedaled.
It's just like, again, and it's one of those things where like it basically means nothing, but because I've spent almost 10 years buying into this, just like reading shit on 4chan.
Don't walk it back that far.
What do you mean?
I mean, this is a pretty kooky coincidence.
What are you talking? Oh, no. No, I'm saying technically on paper, if you show that to somebody who's like, because there's still nothing concrete connecting him to anything.
Right.
Right. But it is one of those things where you're like, there's not nothing happening.
Yeah,
something's
absolutely.
happening. Dude,
Poltergeist.
I sent it to our buddy. I sent that article to our buddy Lores last night. He texted me back at like 2 a.m. he goes, the spirit of Heather O'Rourke lingers.
Dude, I was telling the guys that if it would be a great fuck you to her dad to just redo all of his famous films as porn.
Oh,
That
Amistad, but she's
Yeah.
getting fucked. Like,
yeah, E.T. the extra testicle.
It's just she's on the beach, like on her knees with her ass up in the air.
Yeah.
And then the doors of the boat open and just 8 men all run out and fuck her.
I thought you were going to say you just see like a Gatling gun just fire into her ass. She's shooting porn on the beaches of Normandy.
dude, it's Jaws, but like her asshole is coming out of the water.
Some dude's on a boat just going, damn, look at that gape.
Yeah, one of them falls into it.
Yeah. No! I'm going to need a bigger cock.
82 men in the water. Sharks come up. Suck our dick. I don't remember the voice. I look over at the man next to me, and he had come.
Everybody's crying.
Yeah, they're trying. Richard Dreyfuss is trying to get enough men to run train on the shark.
Look, we're going to fuck the shark into submission. You don't understand. It's sexual dominance.
Also, what the fuck was that interview? Because she basically
It's bizarre, man.
She did an interview to be like, "I'm going to do porn."
Or no, not even that. She's starting an OnlyFans. She's not even doing porn. She's like, I'm not interested in having sex with partners on screen. I'm starting an OnlyFans, and also I've decided to officially start calling my tits my money makers.
Okay.
And then she goes, and my dad loves it. Like that's like the.
Okay.
Wow.
Look, if you're that rich and famous and you start an OnlyFans, that's like when Zach Braff kickstarted his movie. Like, fuck off. This is for you.
It really is.
Is OnlyFans like a Kickstarter thing?
Yeah, save OnlyFans for the starving trans people on Twitter.
Her quote was like, she was like, at 23, I can no longer subsist off of my parents. She's like, it's not appropriate for me to live off my parents or the state for that matter. And I was like, is this a little red-pilled sweetie we got right here? Is this a little
Yeah.
Republican bag?
Yeah. She's like, I'm going to pull myself
what
on my
social
tit strap.
assistance-
Yeah, it's, but yeah, man, it's fucking weird. I don't know. Again, it's just one of those things where it's like it feels like it's like the Jenga tower hasn't fallen over, but the piece that was just removed makes it real fucking wobbly.
Yeah, yeah.
The walls of Jericho are about to come a tumbling, dude.
Absolutely. But that's the fucked up thing is because it does feel like it's on that precipice, but the fact that Epstein's dead is
Right.
it's like I think a lot of people are just like, well, that was done. Oh well.
Right, they're like they got the one guy who was
We got him,
Dude,
guys.
And the fucking thing about him is like he shows up in court. How many people are going down?
Yeah.
I know that again. How many podcasts have covered this? It's so obvious, but it is
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, it is
It's
crazy.
Fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
Every like offensive comedy podcast is also a real crime podcast about
Yeah,
Epstein.
Right, yeah.
absolutely. If it involves pedophilia, we're on it, folks.
I didn't spend 8 months showing anybody who came over to our first house in South Central the subreddit on Dan Schneider's foot fetish to be fucking mocked.
Yeah.
All right? And I'm
Yep.
completely legitimized.
Dude, by the way, you know Bruce Gray, comedian
Yeah,
friend. He worked on a kids show at Nickelodeon. I believe it was a Nickelodeon, like as a featured extra, and they celebrated Dan Schneider's birthday that day.
Holy
so
shit.
he actually, and it was like months before he got kicked out, and he fucked Bruce. I don't know if you guys know that. But
Ah,
it's all confirmed.
Was Bruce? But Bruce was over the age of 18, right?
Yeah, but he made him like, which actually it fit for Bruce's look.
he has very
perfectly.
childlike feet. though.
Yeah, he was wearing a diaper. He had a huge bonnet and just a pacifier that. And then he just said he kept asking for milk. That was his only job. He's like, just ask for milk over and over again.
Bro, I hope he at least got a union rate.
Oh yeah, he's SAG eligible now. Like, he's like, do your line, do your line, Bruce. Mama, Milky, Mama, baby want Milky. It's like, they loved it in the studio. I don't know why they never released it.
Holy fuck.
That is the boldest thing that Hollywood pedophiles do. Like Bryan Singer filming all that locker room footage and then just
Yes.
it not being in the film.
Dude.
Yeah, right. Well, no, I'm pretty sure. I want to say that's for apt pupil, and I want to say that like the actors in that scene, their concerns were raised when there was no camera on set. Like they were just doing the scene.
Yeah, like Bryan Singer's like David Lynch. Like I need to go for a walk and think about what to film.
Yeah, he does a cartoon. He's like, I need the voice actors to get in this sauna. You know, traditionally, you're gonna be naked, and I want to do this like you feel like your camaraderie is increased. You know, we're boys in a locker room. You know, pull your hogs out. Come on.
I remember
make a great film.
reading like years ago like a movie fact about Paul Verhoeven with Starship Troopers, where it's like he was actually naked as well, directing the scene to make the actors more comfortable.
Right.
But when I
real?
first heard that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And now I'm like, I don't know about that.
Like, you guys need me to jack off?
You guys
over
need
here,
to be
just-
also nude.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, everybody, just so it's not weird, I am also, I'm like your,
The director points to the woman at the snack table, like, she should be naked.
she should be nude as
Also,
well.
I just, as a director, I see a vision. Trust me.
Yeah, man. Starship Troopers is sick. Though. This is my problem with all these pedophiles. Like, there are so many people who I think are pedophiles that I give a pass because I'm just like, Rosemary's Baby's a sick movie. I mean, he is a pedophile, confirmed.
Yes.
But it's like,
Well,
Chinatown?
I think the more you look into it, a lot of the artists that were great, like kind of they would break through a barrier, and just do something that kind of blows everybody away, are fucked up people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right, yeah.
I like that with Chinatown, like Polanski was a pedophile. So then when he had to come up with a villain, he's a pedophile who fucks his own children.
Right.
And that's wrong.
That's bad.
Yeah.
He's got to one up himself.
Well, but what's hilarious is like the end of that movie is it's implied that he's going to do it again to his granddaughter.
Jesus.
And Jack Nicholson's like raging, and Jack Nicholson's friend is like, Jack, there's nothing you can do. We're in Chinatown.
Yeah.
That's just how they do it in Chinatown, baby.
And did you guys see that? And I'm not going to spoil it. I just want to. Did you guys see Old Boy?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so good.
You know that Spielberg was supposed to remake Old Boy.
Really?
And then it got passed off to Spike Lee, who took
Interesting.
out the incest element of it.
Horrible decision.
Right.
Because I don't want
Look,
to ruin
the
it for
people,
everybody.
The votes are
Oh,
in.
right. Sorry. I think it's.
No,
I think
you're fine. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
A lot of people have seen it.
Yeah, I think a lot. It's been out forever. I just love the
If
movie
I see
so
it, it'll
much.
be long enough. I'll forget whatever the fuck
Yeah,
we're talking about.
it's just such a hard turn at the end that's so fucking devastating.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love that movie.
It is one of those movies. It's kind of like the first time you watch Fight Club or something, where you're like, "Oh my god, is this the best movie ever?" It hits you so good on that
Yeah.
first viewing, where you're like,
Yeah.
"This is the height of cinema."
Yeah, just like Last Jedi.
Yeah.
that's,
Here we go. We got two peas in a pod right here.
It was so bad, dude. It was so bad. My kids at the end of leaving the theater goes, "Dad, why didn't we just wait for it to come out on Disney Plus?" Like they were mad at me that I wasted their time as like a 9 and 11-year-old to watch this movie.
As
Nice.
someone who hates Star Wars, I think Last Jedi is the interesting one.
Yeah.
It's the one that I'd be most willing to rewatch.
The big points of contention are always like super like let me reposition my glasses.
It's not a fun
Palpatine-
movie.
Yeah, Palpatine could not have done that. Okay, let's just
Right.
Come on, you guys. He was dead.
Well, that shit's gay. I just mean like I hate Star. I mean, I know that it's weird to hate Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like I hate Star Wars more than I hate like fucking Muammar Gaddafi, for example. that's where I put my contempt. but Last Jedi is the one where I'm just like, oh yeah, like there's like auteur level color grading and like like
Oh yeah, it looks great.
it's like the filmmaking is interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting because you're seeing now where these huge just bags of money are making movies, and they can get the best sound guy, the best editor,
Right.
They can get the best special effects, the best actors, and just throw money at it. But at the end of the day, the story might be bullshit.
Yeah.
So then you just have this beautiful turd that you can smell in the theater.
That's the Disney model, man.
It kind of is.
It just fucking like, and also like, I was listening
And you have to go smell the turd every 6 months.
every
Yes.
single time, or else you'll forget.
Every registered voter has to go out and smell
Yeah.
the turd.
Because if you don't, you'll forget what the turd smells like, and
Yeah.
forget that you kind of like the turd smell.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's like
It's as if you're just sticking with a woman that's constantly fucking somebody else, and you're just like, maybe she won't fuck me, fuck some other dude this time, and like
Yeah?
you're like, I'm cucked again, fucking Disney just making me watch.
I think Brandon and I both know what that's like.
yeah. And then just like-
no. Oh no,
Oh yeah.
you're like
And
we're
then
a lot closer
and then
on this
just
pod.
and then just when you're about to tap out, Thor Ragnarok drops. And you're like, maybe
Yes.
this is what it's going to be like all the time.
Thor Ragnarok is
Absolutely.
anal on Valentine's Day. We're like, oh, they're doing something else. This is kind of interesting.
It's all turning around from here.
Yeah, man, fuck. Like, I don't know, but you know what sucks about the Disney model is like it used to be. I was listening to another movie podcast that was saying this. It used to be studios. They would make like $10 to $20 million movies, like to sort of like round of the year, and then there would be a
Sure.
couple tent poles. There'd be a couple $70 to $100 million films, and now Disney won't make a movie unless it's a $100 million budget and unless it makes 1,000% of its profit.
Yes.
Like if they put out a movie with a $100 million budget and it makes $400 million at the box
Right.
office, probably won't get a sequel.
Right.
Like that's fucking crazy.
I would love to see, because I mean, you see this in. Okay, let me get the thought out. Like, I would love to see them take that money that they've just stockpiled from the resorts and all of Disney and be able to put it into projects where they don't have to care about it making money.
Right.
Because they have the money to lose. They can just make brilliant film or whatever. You know, they could really invest in some good shit as opposed to just like, this has to make money. You know, all that stuff.
You're describing the definition of a good market.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is like inherently bad for the market. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I mean, all the problems that you could like on a larger level. It's like the film industry is obviously like a microcosm of capitalism, but it's like it's the one that I point to make people understand of like
Yeah.
because everyone's like, oh, Hollywood. When I go home, everyone's like, oh, Hollywood, they're out of ideas. I'm like, they're not.
Yeah.
They don't want to take risk.
They're just really
Yeah, yeah.
calculated.
Yeah.
Well,
and
you
then like
see-
Disney buys Fox, and then everyone's like,
Well,
oh yeah, Spider-Man can shake hands with Iron Man, so it's good that one company owns.
the thing
half
that,
the world.
that pissed me
Yeah.
off about that was Disney tried to bury, once they bought Fox, they acquired Jojo Rabbit and they tried to bury it because they were afraid there was going to be controversy. That was why they added the tagline, an anti-hate satire, because of the fucking Hitler movie.
Yeah.
And then it got all that, like the critics were raving about it, and then suddenly they were pushing it before awards
Yes.
season. But it was, and now they're like taking credit for it.
Yeah.
And it was a movie they were trying to sweep under the rug.
I do feel like, and I don't necessarily like how they're doing it, but if you look at like Comedy Central,
Right.
it's very ironic because they make all their money off of shows like South Park and Daniel Tosh Point oh, things like that, and so that they can invest into some of these other projects that you look at them and you're like, why did you make this? Like, why? Like, this is just a
To make Twitter happy.
Yeah, but a lot of times it is to make Twitter happy,
Right.
or to virtue signal like, look, we're great, and then meanwhile that just bankrupts them. But they're able to float because they've got these horrible people who make South Park,
Right.
this
Yeah,
brilliant
yeah.
show.
You know,
Well-
it'd be nice if they used some of that money to hire people who make the kind of content that makes them all that money.
Yes,
But right, but here's why and I hate that shit too. I mean, like we talk about Netflix. Netflix is another model that I think is like kind of good because like they have even though I don't like the content that's not making Comedy Central money the way the other shit is, I like that they are
Yes.
investing in something that is not a guaranteed return.
Exactly.
And I think that that's like good in principle.
I think the tracks that they got everything on make sense.
Right.
You have your big money maker, and then if your girlfriend wants to open a flower shop in the middle of Beverly Hills,
Yeah.
where the rent is $70,000 a month, but she's your sweetheart.
Let that daffy bitch think she's got a job. But
yeah,
Let me
take
ask
care
you,
of
do you
her.
think they look at it as making a risk, or do you think it's people so insulated in being online that they're like, all right, we got the South Park money, we got the Reno 911 money, we're going to make this fucking...
they see the numbers coming back. They know that it's not making money.
But I
Yeah.
think every time they think it's gonna work, like that. I mean, it's the same as like they did Girl Ghostbusters, then they're like, all right, it didn't work, but Ocean's 8 is gonna work.
Yeah.
and then that didn't work, and they're like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna work the third time.
I think that I don't think that mentality doesn't make sense because they're inherently marketing to a smaller piece of the pie. So I don't think that they have any delusions about the fact that it's going to do the gangbusters that their standby releases would. I think part of it is a little bit for fucking woke points, so they have like bargaining
Yeah.
chips to point, because this is a town literally built on the bones of raped children. They want to have a couple
Yeah.
things. They want to have a couple things to point to, and be like,
It is-
how could we be bad? Like,
yeah. It's
It
a
is-
real trip.
Have you guys ever heard of the Fulton Opera House?
no.
Okay, it's in my hometown. It is the oldest continuously operating theater in America, and it was built
like that.
on. And when I say built on, it's not like they tore it down and then built something else in the place. The green room is a jail where an Indian massacre happened.
Holy fuck.
And I did like camps and stuff there as a kid, and you're just in the green room, and it's the original beams and stuff.
Holy shit.
And they, and they just built this big theater on it, and then everyone's like, and then all anybody
that's
talks about in there is the ghosts.
That's some poltergeist shit. That's like straight out of Poltergeister.
Yeah,
Built on
man.
a
It was real
Indian
scary.
Graveyard.
My ass too surreptitious to remember that shit.
Yeah,
man.
real scary to like get lost and be on your own in
Did
there.
you ever see anything?
No. But
I
mean,
always hope somebody's got some shit.
I love when I see something, dude.
I mean, it's hard. I was a kid, so I don't remember it that well. And also, it's like adult theater actors telling you the stories.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
fuck.
like-
So there, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it felt creepy back there. I'll
Yeah.
just say that. But anyway, that's all of Hollywood.
Like Counselor Jerry? Why are you using an English accent when you tell us these stories?
He's putting on Native American war paint
Yes.
like
Yeah.
as he's.
Also, so when I say it was a jailhouse, it's not that the Native Americans committed crimes and were in jail.
Of course.
It's that they put them in jail so that they wouldn't be murdered.
Oh, they
Really?
were protecting the Native. I thought they were
Yeah,
going
they-
to jail for being Indian or
No,
something.
well, they put them in jail because this posse was gonna kill every Indian.
damn.
And then
Jesus.
they broke into the jailhouse and killed everybody. And then they were like, all right, the theater goes here. And they're like, well, should we tear down that little one room that's filled with blood? And they're like, nah, just build the rest of it on top.
Oh my God. And then have a bunch of kids in there all the time.
I have a bunch of kids in there all the time.
Jesus.
Has
that's
there ever been a
terrifying.
good posse besides the Pussy Posse?
The best posse?
the greatest posse of all time.
Yeah,
Ah,
we gotta start like. I think Coward Hour and Brain Jail needs to link up to have like a notorious, the no pussy posse.
the No Pussy Posse.
We're all getting like bottle service, and like a girl comes up like, "Hey, do you guys have a podcast or something?" We're like,
Yeah.
"Get the fuck out of here, bitch!" Yeah, we're talking about gaming.
Yeah. We'll join forces to become the first Vol incel podcast. It's like, fuck bitches, man. I hate them.
We'd have to fucking kick Jace out, or there'd be a power struggle or something.
Oh, yeah.
That guy
Jace,
fucks too much.
He slings it from coast to coast.
I know,
man.
man. He hates when you bring it up.
I know. It is one of those things, because there's been enough times on the podcast where I have like insisted like, hey, can we stop doing this type of
Right.
bit, to where when Jace is like, can you not talk about me fucking?
Right.
I'm just like, yeah, but come on, like it's funny.
Yeah, I
man.
don't-
Like come on.
What's he
But
so nervous about?
I don't know. He gets a lot of DMs.
Really?
A lot
I
of
shouldn't.
DMs from-
say it like that.
from dudes.
To fuck?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot. I was talking to Tom Goss from the Meme Boys about this, and he was like, he's like, dude, it might be uncomfortable to have all those dudes hitting you up to try to fuck you now. But when you eventually get canceled for being homophobic, you're going to be so happy that they're around.
You're gonna release the files. Dude.
Yeah. I was like, that makes great sense.
You just release a selfie of you with a dick in your mouth, doing like a thumbs up.
This is who I am. Yeah.
You've got to suck a dick at the podium like Tracy Morgan. You've got to fucking.
Yeah, I love, like, I'm always blown away, like when, like you guys said, there's girls listening, or you know, we have a lot of gay dudes listening. We got a lot,
yeah.
you know, a lot of women listening. It's weird. It's very, very weird, because I feel like
we have women. We have specific women from Nick's past.
Okay. All right.
Post in the Discord.
There's one girl in the Discord who's really wilding out.
yeah.
I'm just yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
She just logs on, tells personal stories about Nick.
That's great.
And I neither confirm nor deny, but you know.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's good stuff. No,
Yeah,
it's exciting. Because I do feel like especially when you're doing comedy and you're sensitive and you're like, for me, I'm just like, I hope we're not offending anybody. I'm just trying to be funny here.
Right.
To find out that they're listening, they like it. It's just like, oh, thank God. You know, that makes me feel so good.
Well, also, I think part of it is that, like, past 5 years or so, people worry if they're at a comedy show, they're worried about what they're seeing laughing at. And
Yes.
people
Yeah.
only listen to podcasts alone.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
No, that's really true.
Well, it's wild to me that the people with and actually this has actually kind of been true my whole life. The people with the best senses of humor have always been non-comics to me. Like, you know what? Like the people with who tend to be the most permissive in what they'll let me joke about.
Yes. Yeah.
Out here especially.
Yeah. Like my family was never like this, but I remember being at other friends' families, and there's like a 67-year-old great aunt or something.
Yes.
And she's just funny as fuck and just likes love joke. She's joking about her dead husband. And just
Yes,
like
dude.
everything, she doesn't give a fuck.
I mean, that's whoa. That's my grandfather.
Really?
Yes, and well, to the point where like he really upsets people because he's like he's like a. I mean, I love him to death. He's a bona fide piece of shit. He's like not a. He's not always the most moral guy.
Right.
But yeah, he's fucking. And I actually think that what's funny is like, I think that I picked up a good chunk of my sense of humor actually from him because my father I think kind of shies away from it because he had to like deal with it growing up, so it's like not a positive thing for him.
Yeah.
But like secondhand, I'm like, I think that definitely had an influence on me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, the sins of the father, just passed down to the son.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like if you took like the average open micer, they're going to be less funny than like the average population.
Well, I'll put a positive spin on that because I do agree with you in a lot of ways, but I also think it's just fucking hard to be funny as a stand-up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like writing stand-up is incredibly hard, even if you're a brilliantly funny person. It's just a completely different way of communicating, the way that you encapsulate stuff, and then put on top of that you're surrounded by other people that think of themselves as funny and are jaded a little and all this stuff, and so it like creates this weird mix of discomfort for most people, which hinders humor in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
It's something about performing for comics, but like I feel a spur to do well and perform well when I know I'm in front of a real crowd.
Yes.
In ways that like where I'm like I almost feel like, and maybe it's because I've been doing it so long and haven't seen that much returns, where I'm like, I guess I was supposed to be writing in front of real crowds more than writing in front of comics at this point.
Yeah.
And it's because like I'll go back to DC and I'll do like a good booked show at the DC Draft House, and I'll have not done stand up for like 3 months,
right?
Because it bums me out here, and I'll freak out and I'll get nervous, and then I get up and I have like a great set, and I'm like, I forgot that I knew how to do this, and that I am good at this. I mean, I'm decent at it. I'm not great. I'm not as good as like people who are really good, but I know what to do.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, there's a sensibility that if you want to crush, if that's what you're. And I hate even saying you want to crush, but if you want to do well in front of audience, if that's your core motivator, you end up writing stand-up for the stand-ups that doesn't translate. And if you're actually writing stuff that's going to be palatable to everybody, it might not hit as hard as the 9/11 pedophile stuff that will hit in the open mic. But then you leave town and you're like, oh, fuck, that's right. I was inspired at one moment in my life, and this is why.
I'm trying to just take enough time off that I like completely forget how I normally do it, and then come back with just like a completely new approach.
Yeah, I would love to see you come back because I've always thought you were very funny.
Isn't he great?
And yes, I think you're fucking hilarious, and I would love to see you come back. But I also, this is a conversation I have with Ben a lot of the time where it's just like then it becomes like. Almost like I'm saying, you should start drinking again. Like, no, that's not
that's what I
am
do.
anymore.
I tell him that all the time, actually.
Yeah.
I'm
it's just
trying to get him to drink again.
It's frustrating because
Great friend.
this isn't.
He would be saying, I never got to see it.
Yeah.
I never got to see you when you were fun.
I think that it's LA is a really unrewarding place to be a hobbyist in stand up.
Right.
And I'm not getting any breaks. So I need to purely find a way to do it where it's fun for me at the level where I'm able to do it. And
if you can get to the attitude of like a guy that's really good at golf but hits a bucket of balls just because he loves it, I think that's where I've been trying to get, where I'm like, if I were to able to program my mind, I would be like, okay, this person does comedy because he loves doing it. And, because he's been good at it. And that's it. And then just focus on that and doing your best, being proactive. But that's not reality. The reality is that if I don't get constant feedback that I'm doing well, or if I'm not getting rewarded, I'm like, well, then it's just well, fuck it. It's like, no. You did this because you felt you were hardwired to do it and you enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Don't let. And I'm not trying to convince you or whatever, but I'm just saying this is from my inner
I mean, I
monologue,
keep saying
too.
like I quit, but I've been missing it recently,
Yeah.
and I am having notes in my phone again. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm planning on getting a 5 together and
Yeah.
going out again. It's
Throw,
just,
throw it up, show up at the
Yeah.
ice house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
it's
I'm just not in a rush because I know like it doesn't matter because
It doesn't.
no one's waiting for me to come back except like my friends,
Right.
and it's just purely going to be for me when I do it. So
Yeah. Well, and if I can be a little real, and I'm not going to put this on you, but I know for me, stepping back a little bit, and because right now I'm just going to open mics that are at clubs. I try to stay away from the other stuff just because I was getting so burnt out. But fuck, what was my point? Taking a little bit of a step back and getting a little bit of a break in order to organize my fucking brain. Because my brain was just in a fucked up place. You know, I was going to open mics where I was uncomfortable. Then I'd smoke pot to not be uncomfortable. Then I realized, shit, I'm smoking a ton of fucking pot, and I'm not any more comfortable. And you know, all of a sudden, it's 2-3 years later, and I was like, okay, I need to take a step back and just like figure out my brain, get a little bit more emotionally healthy, and then I can it'll actually be more effective to do that than to be grinding every day, you know, because I'm going to hate myself and I'm not going to be funny, you know?
Right.
So
it's kind of related, but I feel like when I started to get good at stand-up is when I quit drinking just because it forced me to do something different.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I felt a big uptick when I went sober from weed for 9 months. We'll see if I do that again. I probably will. It keeps creeping back up on me. I'm like, I'm good, dude. I figured out how to smoke weed, and like it's part of my life, makes my life better, dude. And then like before I know it, I'm driving my kids like 300 miles an hour on the highway, just fucking the cops. They're coming. It's like they've been checking my search history. The Epstein shit finally got on their radar.
Oh fuck.
Just screaming at your son about Spielberg.
Yeah, I'm like, you need to smoke. You guys need to fucking. You guys are coming down on my. You're harsh in my mellow right now, big time, dude. Fucking take an edible or something. Oh, lung cancer, you little bitch. Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, but I think it's good. I hope you find. Here's what I hope. I hope you find joy. I hope you do it because you like it.
Oh
and
yeah, dude.
You find some good feelings out of it.
As Isaac Hirsch said, the love is in the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Words of wisdom from Isaac Hirsch.
Yeah,
And I wasn't,
yeah.
you know, my brain, I stopped creating and writing just because I got bummed about the results.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully take a step back.
Yep.
It'll happen. But
I always look back to when I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I had a Lego pirate ship, and I spent probably 12 hours making a stop motion animation of the pirate ship.
dude, I did
going
that for
past.
years.
And it was like there was no YouTube, nothing. But I remember you turn. This is so funny because I give Ben shit for doing like blue humor sometimes. But like 11, 12 years. The pirate ship goes past, and there's 2 Lego guys on the back. One's bent over, and the other one's just humping the back of them. And it was just like, it's always been there. It's always, that sense of humor has always been a part of my life. It's like, hey, well, I love the animation. What's with the butt fucking pirates at the end? I was like, that was a mistake. I forgot I was moving them.
It's so funny that at a young age you were disciplined enough to teach yourself stop motion.
Yeah.
Which is like very impressive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but they have to butt fuck.
They got a butt fuck.
Yeah, dude. Director's trademark.
Yeah. No, we had just a little camcorder, or my buddy did, and he left it at my house. And so I would just hit record and just tap it twice.
Yep.
And it would take one single frame, and then I'd move it. And it was, I remember being so stoked. My daughter's doing that now with like these Gotcha Life video characters or whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's making animation, and I'm just like, it pumps me up. I'm just
man.
like, yes, you're finding something that's cool. You're making something.
For the sake of it.
Yeah.
Creating for the sake of
Yeah,
it.
just having a good time. Learning a new skill because you're passionate about the good time that you're having.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I used to, as embarrassing as it was, that's why I used to really like making beats and recording shitty, horrible rap music with my friends.
All right, but here's the thing about those fucking beats. Brendan, you could sell those beats to people for like a lot. No.
Yeah.
Brendan's retarded. He he played me an album of, and it could never be released because of like the lyrical content. But
It was me and my friends blackout drunk what we thought was funny at 23.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But the beats themselves, Brendan's playing it for me, and I'm like, it's like I'm hearing the Beatles in 1964. I'm like, this is the next thing. I've never heard anything
But
like
the
this.
reason I liked it so much is because I had zero aspirations to ever do hip hop professionally. So it was just purely fun.
Do you think?
You got to release it.
Do you think that the sense of humor that you're using on that album would appeal to your audience on Coward Hour?
I mean, it's the same sense of humor. It's just I was less restrained.
You should throw it on a Patreon or something, or behind a paywall, dude.
Maybe. I mean, like
Seriously.
the theme song is that.
Dude, I was gonna say, because if I didn't know if that was your whole thing. That has got to be the funniest intro song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It was literally, and no offense, but it was literally so funny. I was like, where did they get this from? Like, because I was like, this had to be something that was done at a party album, by Red Fox, in the 60s or something that he just took. No, it's so fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
hilarious.
Thank you.
Well, it's funny when we talked about doing the podcast. He was like, he was even like, should we get a different theme song? I was like, I will not do it. We have the original theme song.
Yeah, I was always I am proud of some of the stuff that we did with those, but the thing that I was proudest of is there's jokes in some of that stuff that's like just musical. Not the lyrics, but it's just like funny that this is the sample.
You remixed a Joanna Newsom. So do you know who Joanna Newsom is? She's Andy Samberg's wife. She's an indie musician.
Okay.
She plays a harp.
Okay, yeah.
So it's very soft. And he remixed a Joanna Newsom song into like a fucking sick trap beat.
It was a T-Pain jam.
It's
Hell yeah.
and like when he
It's a T-Pain song where I'm auto-tune singing about trans pornography.
like literally when he played it for me, I wanted to get like Pitchfork on the phone like Marvin Berry. I wanted to
It's me, your brother, Adolf Hitler. You know that sound you've been looking for? Listen to this.
Holds the mic and it just screams.
Yeah. It's me, your brother, Anthony Hitler.
I just hold the phone up to a video of 9/11.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right, well,
fuck.
maybe
I think-
maybe when Art Times Plus launches, we can put a little music behind the paywall and
dude, it's-
get the whole company
Not
in
all
the
of
gutter.
it. We got to
Absolutely.
select that. There's some tracks that can absolutely never see the light.
Oh
of day.
yeah.
Well,
I'll say the
you
names
gotta-
off mic.
You got to have those. Those are good. Dude, when me and Evan Cassidy used to do Rippin' and Skippin', this other podcast I did for like 150 episodes of, we would write songs for it specifically that and then try to create a narrative like beef and arc. And I don't think it was executed perfectly, but the process of like making songs was just so fulfilling. Like just to make a beat, just to open up Logic.
Oh, it's so fun.
And then, make fart noises and then auto tune it just
Yes.
for nothing. Or I used to record cuss words in reverse. So we'd go like cuff,
Dude.
and then we play them back because we had a 4-track recorder when I was
Yeah.
a kid, and it'd be like fuck. And it'd be like we'd be dying. Like, "Oh, we said fuck.
Yeah, dude, that's some like 70s
My mom can't
hijinks.
get mad.
Yeah. Oh, dude, child of the 80s. It's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. We'll put it out.
Yeah,
You really
we have
should.
to.
You really ought to. I mean,
what I should do is just make the beats and give them to a black person to record.
Sure. it should be one
No,
that
not
you
just
know. It's just
not just any. I mean, a rapper. It shouldn't just.
dude, you should try. You should multi-level marketing scheme the dudes on Hollywood Boulevard, like handing CDs out. Like,
Yeah. I'd be like, hey, I got some beats, but I'm not fronting you. You gotta.
yeah, you got to rap over.
Yeah.
sitting on your couch for 9 hours in a blank stare. You stand up, you put a thumb drive in your pocket, and you run out the door. And then the first black guy you see, you're like, finally, there you are. I made these for your whole race. Here you go.
It's up to you.
Yeah. Can you make sure this gets into the hands of the right black person?
Look, you're the first black person I've seen from my window.
Please get this to Quincy Jones, king of the black people.
It's actually Rachel Dolezal. You fucked the whole thing up.
I'm like, fuck, I got it to the wrong Quincy Jones.
She's still she's still president of the NAACP, right? They didn't-
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty
Is
sure
she
she's still.
really?
No, I don't. No, definitely not.
I hope. I mean, they got to be more inclusive.
They have.
You know, they got to be more inclusive to the dolls.
I didn't realize that her sons were black. I guess that she probably thought like, oh shit, I did it.
Her sons look so tired in that documentary.
I
Just like, oh, my mom, people don't like her.
man, that's brutal. That's got to be brutal.
Yeah, dude.
She gets like 2 into Kwanzaa, and
Yeah.
her black sons are like, Mom,
Yeah, yeah.
can we just have Christmas?
Don't be trifling with me now.
Oh fuck.
She's using all the vernacular with no accent.
Yeah.
You guys are straight up tripping right now. Okay?
Do you think before she got found out, you think she said it?
Man,
Oh, for sure.
probably.
For
She
sure.
probably loved Tupac, She's knew all the lyrics, you can't.
There's no way you're not living your life publicly as a black person and not saying it.
Yeah,
That's
true.
what. That's
Yeah, and she
the
never got in
effort.
trouble for that,
for.
Yeah.
I mean, there's she on what? For saying it?
for saying it.
They probably. I mean, I doubt her family would sell her out. It would be fucked up if she was only saying it around her family. That's why her sons are so tired. They're just like, yeah, we've been putting up with this.
She actually tried to change the name of the NAACP to the NNCP, and
the NN child porn.
yes, yeah, and a lot of controversy. But she was like, "I know best."
Well, she made it the child porn because she was hoping that would be such a controversy she could then walk it back halfway.
Yeah,
The NAACP, the Beep, Alcoholics Anonymous, child porn.
now that goes behind a paywall.
that
If you guys really want to start making some cash,
they're like this organization, the NAACP, really a mixed bag. Really starts bad, middle's going somewhere good, and then ends terrible.
holy shit! How long do you guys usually?
I mean,
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's. I think we can put a pin on it.
Yeah.
Because the only
You guys
thing,
go long.
we do go long because I wasn't sure if you were trying to wrap it up, but I did want to ask you because you said when we were talking about, and I said, did you see anything in that
In the ghost.
in the ghost? And you said, I love when I see things. Have you seen like anything supernatural?
I've had some creepy experiences. I mean, like I don't know. I
you do a lot of acid too.
well, this is before the acid. I have this was prior to the acid. I've had like crazy sleep paralysis experiences, but
yeah,
Oh, I used to get that almost nightly.
that seems terrifying.
the one thing that like the one. Well, it's crazy, man. I've had like have I talked about it on here? So like I can get into some real like hippy dippy shit. Like
I love it, man.
dude. Me too. I'm getting back into tarot cards. This
Hey,
is
bring it on.
2020 is the year of potluck religion.
I thought-
whatever
I thought of-
religion impresses me the most, I'm going with.
I thought of some Coward Hour merch. I thought it'd be funny to sell tarot cards where everyone has a MAGA hat. Just for, for the kinds of people who want their tarot read, you pull it out, you're like, I'm sorry, these were the cheapest ones.
This is the make your depression great again card here.
We could. We do like the night of.
The one where the guy's crying with the swords, but it's all ARs.
Yeah, we could do one like the night of D cups. The night's just fucking stacked. She just.
Hell yeah.
I had I don't know how much I even want to dox Jesse on this, but basically, so I can.
What's his address?
No, it's a she.
Oh, okay.
It's a she. She lives in Baltimore. She's a very, very good friend. She works at this place called like a Waldorf school, which is like this like it's kind of like a Montessori, but more spiritually inclined. And like
Okay.
they teach the kids about like fucking chakras and shit. And like if a child is having like a spiritual experience, they just kind of like go with it. They're like, oh yeah, tell me
Really?
about it. And like, so she told me about this kid who was like reliving vividly a past life of his to her, just like in the
Really?
library. And it was like he was talking about shit that like lines up with like machine elves and shit that people see when they're like on DMT and
Wait,
stuff.
machine elves?
You
You don't know about the machine elves, brother?
Kevin, there's no way you don't know about them. You're friends with Ben Avery.
I don't know about the machine elves.
when
but-
when it's a common entity that people like encounter when they smoke DMT or have like crazy spiritual
It's like
experiences.
a wooden mechanical
I've heard
elf,
of
right?
that entity. I've just never heard them called machine elves.
Right, yeah, machine elf, and so she also knew this guy in Australia who was like a Reiki healer who basically
A rapey healer?
a Reiki healer,
Oh.
like, dude, this story's getting.
Dr. Cosby.
He fixed my leg, but I don't feel right. He did something else.
I just realized this story that I'm telling isn't even my ghost story, so maybe.
Well, it's a supernatural thing.
Yeah.
It kinda,
Finish it. I have a ghost story afterwards.
All right, yeah. My ghost story was when I was getting Pop-Tarts downstairs when I was like in 8th grade, and we had a bunch of boxes that our new TV had came in, and they just like exploded apart behind me in the darkness, and
What the
I ran
fuck?
back upstairs. So that's the ghost story. But anyway, so she
Did you go down and like there were exploded pieces of the boxes everywhere? and
No, the
stuff?
boxes were standing, and we did not have a pet at this point. The boxes were stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
I was getting a Pop-Tart, and while my back was turned, it was like somebody like punched or kicked all the boxes. They like flew
Holy
like,
shit.
out across the room, and freaked me the fuck out.
That's terrifying.
Very terrifying. But so anyway, so I forgot the reason why this kid was bugging her out is like she knew this guy in Australia who like did like healing, and he was like very spiritual.
Yeah.
And he talked about like sleep paralysis beings that people would see when they were on like these retreats with him, and he the way he described it was like, yeah, these things will visit you and they work on you and whatever. The things that he described to Jessie, this young boy was like describing to her.
Really?
In his life, and it was like freaking her out. And as Jessie is telling me this, I start to have like, I don't like, it wasn't I've had acid flashbacks. And those are weird. But this was like more coherent than an acid flashback where like suddenly everything in the room, I just started to have like a really crazy like visual hallucination where like her face started to look different. It was like changing different colors, and I couldn't like differentiate like the depth of things. Like as we got
Wow.
more and more into this conversation about like parallel planes of existence, I like had a full on like hallucination that then lingered for like 40 minutes. Like it lasted for 40 minutes, and I stopped her in the middle of her story and I said, Jessie, I don't want to freak you out. Something really weird is happening to me right now. I sound so gay telling this story.
I love it.
I said something really
I'm
weird.
getting hard.
Right. and I told her what was happening, and I was starting to forget, and she goes, Nick, calm down. It's okay. It's happening to me too. And I was like, what the fuck? This is fucking crazy.
That's a trip.
It was a trip, dude. And I have done such unsafe amounts of acid and nothing and like I have never been as tripped out as I was.
Well, yeah, you didn't take anything.
I
So
didn't
you're,
take
like,
anything.
trip- Yeah.
And it was also like the fact that it was like this shared experience on like multiple levels of like her also having weird hallucinations and this kid's story like that was lining up with this. Anyway.
Yeah. It's a trip with those
And
type
that
of
kid's
stories.
name
Yeah.
was Jeffrey Epstein.
I was
That's right.
that kid's name was I forgot his name. What the
Those
fuck?
stories are so impactful and so powerful because you have to have a level of vulnerability to even tell anybody about that shit because
Yes.
it's like, look, this thing happened. I don't know why or whatever. I just want to tell you what happened to me, and then I may sound like I'm, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like that's why those are so impactful is because it's so unexplained.
Well,
Crazy thing about this town is like, I feel like people will talk about like out of body experiences and like crystals and all this shit, but then if you like believe in God, you're a retard.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I will say
It's very ironic.
all the weird, and granted, a lot of it, like I understand a lot of it is getting high. A lot of it is that I was addicted to LSD, something they promised me couldn't happen. but
You're the only guy I've ever met.
You're in the DARE program going, watch me. Watch this, motherfucker.
right.
I remember like the same way that I feel sometimes when I watch a movie where like everyone is drinking and it's a lot of fun, but also it reminds me of the bad times. When we saw Mandy
Yes.
and that guy sucks on all the acid off his fingers, you were like sliding off your chair.
because you're not, dude, if you can feel the acid as a liquid running down the back of your throat, buddy, you are fucked.
Yeah.
You're whatever plans you had,
They're done.
They're done.
For like 3 days, probably, right?
but yeah, I mean the longest I've ever gone was like 2 days straight where like truly you're coming around to like the 20th hour and you're like, oh, I did this to myself. Like,
yeah.
This is how I am. But what I will say is like all of those crazy spiritual experiences, and even like, and maybe it is like I've changed my brain chemistry or whatever, but it has instilled in me a real confidence of like some spiritual something
Yeah.
that is very comforting to me.
Yeah, I hope there's something weird out there. I'm always trying to see ghosts. I'm always trying to see aliens. I love that shit. I've never experienced any of it. All the stuff that I've experienced, I can explain away through like conditioning, or that person was schizophrenic. There's a lady that was like having a demon possession at this junior high camp I went to.
Right.
And it was just like in my mind I was like, oh my God, that's proof of God right there.
Right.
Like, because in my mind I was trying to get some proof to all these things that I've been taught. So I'm like, if I can see a demon, Satan shit, whatever, it means that there's more, and I could never see it. That girl who knows? She could have just been schizophrenic or trying to get attention or whatever, but she seemed like she was possessed, when I was there.
Well, I don't know how deep I want to get into this, but like, Jesse talks about an inability to integrate when you do like people who maybe you haven't experienced like we had, but people who aren't able to integrate it or aren't open to it, their reaction to it is something like a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
She's so much more articulate at explaining this than I am, but essentially that was like the gist.
Has she ever been on the pod?
No, she'd be a good guest on it. It wouldn't be a funny episode. It'd be like a very like. It could be cool, actually.
I'd probably take a back seat, but
yeah. It might be maybe when I go home, I could do like a bonus ep with her.
You said you had a ghost story.
I do,
also?
yeah.
I hope I'm not like guiding this into be longer than you guys want.
No,
this
that's
is
okay.
great. It's been interesting.
I was just like,
Yeah,
we
I'm
usually do an
curious.
hour, but that's just because it's like him and I, and we run out of steam.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
guest ones are normally longer, but
Yeah.
I was just trying to be polite if you had somewhere to be.
No, I got nowhere to be, man. I
Okay,
got
cool.
nothing. My kids went to sleep already. They don't expect me back till morning.
You're not gonna wake them up by putting nipples on them.
No. Well, the conditioning of 9 years of doing stand-up, it's like my wife knows, like, I won't see him until I wake up the next day because I'm just going to be out late. And so that has afforded me the opportunities to be a real piece of shit. And just like,
You'd better make it.
yeah, dude, seriously. I am way too deep in. It's like, yeah, I thought, what were you doing last night? You were working on your craft, right? I was like, yeah. Also at 10 o'clock, somebody came in with 4 tabs of acid. And I thought, it's 8 hours. I mean, my kids don't have to be at school till 7:30. I'll be good, The neighbor said,
You're driving your kids to school, talking about the machine elves.
yeah. The neighbor said it sounded like you were spinning around in circles in the living room. yeah, that's right. That's what I was doing. Just trying to get some calisthenics, And oh shit. So you can summon the dead.
Yes. No, what it was is this is going to be weird because this is one of those stories. Have you ever had the experience where something happened to you and you wrote a bit about it, and then
Yes.
through telling that bit so many times, you're not really sure what you made up?
Yeah.
I know that like the actual spooky part, I know I didn't make that up, but like everything I'm going to say the girl said to me, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is how it happened, but also I told this as a bit for so many years. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, so when I was in my early 20s, I dated this girl in my hometown she lived in this old farmhouse. And I went over to her house. We went down to the basement, and we started to hook up, and she stopped me, and she was like, hey, before we do this, are you cool with ghosts? And I'm like,
Holy
what?
shit.
Holy fuck, dude.
And she's like, well, sometimes, okay, here's the, all right,
There's 6 ghosts that live inside my pussy.
My roommates are ghosts.
yeah, everyone who's fucked me died in my pussy, and they live there. And now you'll be there too, like in Hellraiser.
Yeah. Chains just come out of her pussy and pull you in.
You will fuck though.
Yeah. I'm like, well, all right.
You're gonna get it in all the way in.
Yeah, the guy in Hellraiser keeps descending further and further into like mixing pain with pleasure. But for me, it's like, oh, I get to have vanilla sex once, and I live in hell forever.
It's Hellraiser, but they just give you a Prince Albert.
Sorry, I keep looking over there just because we had recording problems last week.
Oh,
but
okay,
everything has been fine.
It's good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I keep looking like 1 inch to the side of your eyes.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, I'm seeing
Kevin,
Satan
does it
currently.
look like it's recording?
It's recording.
I can't tell.
Oh fuck. Okay. Well.
I can tell. I know what it looks like.
Okay.
So now you guys have me paranoid.
Oh
1 second.
fuck. All right, Kevin. Rant.
I thought when he said
it's 100% recording.
okay,
when you
cool.
said
It's
the-
100% recording.
when you said the farm girl, like a farm girl thing, I thought you were going to tell that really old street joke about the guy that puts like razor blades in his daughter's vaginas, and then he has the 3 men that come to the farmhouse, and he's like, "You can stay on my farm, but don't fuck my daughters." And the guy's like, "I would never." And then the next morning, he brings the 3 guys out, and he says, "Did you fuck?" He goes, "No." He pulls his pants, and his dick falls off. Next guy, same thing. Third guy, he goes, "Did you fuck my daughter?" The guy goes, "No," and his tongue falls out. That's a really bad.
That's a joke.
That's a street joke from that. I heard that when I was like 6 months old.
That's chilling.
My grandfather used to tell that every Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's a strange joke.
I apologize. I'm a strange guy.
No, that's
How did the razors stay in the pussy?
Why did you write that joke, Kevin?
I apologize. I was writing for Bill Cosby at the time, and he said something about razor blades and pussies.
You know when you put
Or is Cosby-
loose razor blades.
Yeah, well, Cosby's a storyteller. So
He really is. He really is. Well, he somehow makes that into a 2-hour set.
Did I ever tell the weird fucking? I'm sorry. I'm
ghost story.
sidetracking. I was gonna say, did I ever tell the weird fucking jokes I saw Cosby do like a couple of years before?
I saw him do crazy jokes at the Naval Academy. I think we saw him around the same time.
He was losing his damn mind.
Yes, he didn't get up the whole time.
What did he like? What kind of like?
He went on some I'm trying to remember. He did a rambling bit about like his Uncle Willis, who was always outside. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that,
He's
but
like-
That
he did a
sounds
lot
like
of.
a good Bill Cosby bit.
He's like he was so senile that all his bits became this like all these like absurdist conceptual pieces.
Yes.
But it was just misfiring.
Well, bro, no, but here's the thing. That was actually why I kind of, and I'm going to get canceled for saying this, Far From Finished had like surreal imagery in it where he talks about like going to the farm to table restaurant. He's like, yeah, we these pears they were plucked by like naked men who were in a field, and he's like going through this bizarre long description of like
Yeah.
how the food got to his table, and it's very funny.
Yeah, it's like the people that fuck, I forget it. No, it's like the guys that are I don't know. Did you guys see the Midsummer?
Yeah.
I didn't.
There's the guy that's like all deformed and shit, and he just draws random shit into a book, and they're like, "That's our secret text." It's like Cosby gets to a moment of like dementia where he's so insane, but it's just this brilliant imagery.
Yeah, dude. It's like
Shouldn't have fleshed that thought out.
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
Well, no,
he did this bit about a wet dream, but he was still doing it clean,
Yeah,
so it was just confusing. Where
so weird.
the language he chose for his dad to explain the wet dream to him was, "Now, Bill, one day you're going to have a dream. And in that dream, there's going to be a woman. And she'll have no body and no face. But you're going to have yourself a good time."
right.
And the audience just stands up and applauds.
Yeah.
Yes, America's dad. Love it. Okay, I don't want you to lose this.
Yeah, my ghost story.
right.
So
Okay.
she says, "Are you okay with?"
So she
ghosts?"
says, "Hey, do you believe in ghosts?"
"Yeah."
And I say no. And she's like, "Okay, well, my uncle and my grandma both separately died on the couch that we're on right now. And they're buried outside and they both haunt here.
Wow.
So sometimes I bring guys home and they get weird about the ghosts. So I just wanted to make sure that you weren't going to be weird about the ghosts."
Jesus.
And I'm like 21 trying to get pussy. So I'm like, nah, I'm not weird about the ghosts.
"Come on, baby."
And then just
come on, girl.
instantly
Be cool.
terrified of ghosts.
Yeah.
They're not even strange ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
They're familial ghosts.
Familial ghosts. I mean, it's like,
You're like, we could just fuck somewhere else other than this couch, probably.
yeah, we can
fuck
fuck
in a
We
cemetery.
can fuck somewhere else other than the basement you turned into an apartment for 2 different family members to live their last year in.
Why are they
Jesus.
burying the family in the yard?
It's
like fucking cats and dogs.
They buried their ashes in the yard.
Oh, okay. Still weird.
Still weird.
Oh my god.
So then, fuck. Oh, this is coming back to me now.
Oh shit! That when he does that, that's a really dark sign, Kevin.
Yeah.
So earlier that night, she, you know how girls will like want to wear your shirt.
Yeah.
She wanted to like wear my shirt, and I'm like, but I need my shirt. And she's like, well, here. And she goes to a drawer, and she pulls out a shirt, and she gives it to me. So we're there, and we
A
start.
shirt that was not hers?
That was not hers. A men's shirt. So then, we start hooking up, and in the middle of it, she's sucking my dick, and I'm still wearing the shirt, and I look down and I realize this is her uncle's shirt.
Oh my god.
This is the dead man's shirt.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I hate-
and
dude, this is
now I'm
crazy.
slipping in lines from the bit because I'm remembering it, but I'm Donald ducking it in a dead man's shirt,
right.
just getting sucked off by his niece. And the way I used to tell is like I feel like at this point I'm the one haunting the ghost.
That's funny.
Holy shit.
But the spooky part of it was that afterwards we're laying there. And I said something to her. I forget what it was, but I like snapped my fingers to make a point. And when I snapped my fingers, the TV turned to like super loud static until I snapped them again.
What the fuck, dude?
Jesus Christ.
And I was just, and she's like, Uncle Jerry or whatever.
That no, you don't. No, you don't get to. You don't get to fucking Uncle Jerry,
Yeah.
Holy
And then she's like,
shit.
so do you want to spend the night? And I'm like, no.
bro.
Jesus.
That was a calculated move. I think that she
Yes.
was getting off on the
I do
ghost
too.
watching.
It could have
She
been.
asked for your shirt, gave you her uncle's shirt, and then he pulls a classic ghost move.
Yeah.
A poltergeist.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
here's the other thing that made
right
me
out of the
wonder.
textbook.
Right.
Because this girl was kind of kooky, and
Oh no. You
Yeah,
fucking
well,
think?
Brandon, don't be
Yeah.
judgmental.
but I mean, like, if Uncle Jerry is if his ghost lives there, he's not in heaven. So what did he do
Well,
that he?
that's...
Well, no.
It seems pretty clear, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was where my thought was that she's recreating trauma, you know,
Right. Oh wow.
with you and the like.
And the ghost is there.
Dude, that's like a
She's cucking
American
the
Horror
ghost?
Story.
Yes.
It is. It's. You're right. Dude. Holy shit.
It's a trip.
It's funny to imagine him getting to like St. Peter and be like, "No, I got unfinished business. I gotta watch my niece get it in at least 60 more times."
Look, I love to come up to the pearly gates, but my niece is fucking hot, and she's about to blow this dude in my old T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Gabriel? You've been there, right? Like,
Holy fuck.
We've
That's
discussed
insane.
before that we're ass men. We're not into huge tits.
Yeah, I'm an ass man.
Yeah, and generally, you know, I'm into women with smaller tits. But this girl had such gigantic, like goofy tits that it was just fun.
Sometimes.
they were
They're like funhouse tits.
I just pictured Goofy from Disney.
Right.
Yeah, the kind of tits
Goofy
you really want to
tits.
fondle with white gloves.
Yeah. You squeeze them, they go, whoa! It's like, I'm coming.
Do you think in the Goof Troop movies, do you think they wore the gloves to jerk off?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. It'd be hard, some hard lotion management, though.
Mm-hmm.
But like the way a cartoon would jack off would have to be, you know, pretty comical, though. There'd have to be something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
trombone noises.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah.
A train whistle.
You're
Yeah.
jerking off to the same rhythm that the dresser behind you is dancing to.
Right, yeah,
There-
absolutely.
You hear the sound of a locomotive engine. The balls turn into wheels and start shooting steam out of your nose and ears.
Holy fuck.
How many more of those fucking stories do I have?
Brendan, you tell me.
It's gotta end.
Every
Every like 3-4 episodes, I remember something I haven't thought about in years that just upsets me.
he gets a look on his. You saw the look. He gets a look on his face.
Yeah.
I would
I saw
love to have a Brendan cam. That could also be behind the paywall, where it's just a supercut of every time you realize something. You have so many dark epiphanies. I'm serious, man.
It's true.
Man. And are they all surrounded like when you fuck? Is it like
There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
For the most part, yeah.
almost all the sex I've ever had has been bad.
Hey, me too. You know, I get it, buddy.
It is funny that like sex for you is just like Vietnam. You get a very like PTSD look on your face.
Yeah, like anytime a girl asks me like, "What are your kinks?" I'm like, I like to feel safe.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Boring.
Oh man, you're like, it was the hardest time of my life. I never cried so much, but I also never felt so alive.
Oh fuck.
Man, yeah, well, shit, man. We gotta find just a normal broad.
I think he's got one.
Oh yeah?
I think he's getting
I
there.
don't want to talk too confidently on the podcast.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh yeah.
I already doxed myself a little bit.
Right. He's been the people who I've seen him spending time with have been more on
Don't-
more on the straight and narrow.
Don't say that. That makes it sound like I'm a lot of people.
Brendan, calm down.
You mean
Come on.
friends, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yes. All right.
You
sure.
make it sound like I'm some sort of
Goddamn.
Lothario.
Brendan, this is what we were talking about before. You're going to try to hide everything? No, just since you've been to LA, the two
Oh, okay.
Yes, the fucking the 2 dates that I've seen you go on, the choices have been so apparently better than the choices you were making on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. You goddamn pussy.
Yeah. Of the 2 women I've had sex with in LA.
Like out of the 1,000
Very normal.
one night stands that you've had in this place,
Right.
the ones you're doing now seem better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what you got to do. You date them for like 5 years and then you marry them and then you fuck them because then you're stuck.
Did you wait till marriage?
Yeah, dude. I was a virgin on my wedding night.
You only had sex with one
Hell
person.
yeah.
Only my wife.
I'm
That's it.
jealous.
The hell yeah.
I'm jealous.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, if you've never had chocolate, then you don't know how good it is. You know what I mean? This is my.
But are you good at eating chocolate?
Oh, I'm great.
Oh, okay.
I'm great. No, this is just my desire to wish I had married a black woman. No, I love my wife. My wife's amazing. But I did leapfrog all the awkwardness of sex because we had, built a relationship outside of any type of physical intimacy. And so then I knew I could, when I pulled my dick out, it was like the last weird thing about me. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
It was like, you've seen all my quirks. You said you're here forever. Here comes my dick. Like, and
What
That's
if she
the only
walked?
way anyone should see anyone's dick.
yeah. Hey,
I don't agree. I'm not. This is where I don't get on board. Look,
all the listeners, you should be Christians. You should just do it the right way.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No, I always, every time I talk to buddies who are like fucking a lot, I'm just like, man, that sounds great. Like, it'd be cool. And then they're always like, no, it's so shallow or whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. But there is that part of me that was like, I never got to have like my, Van Wilder years or
Right.
whatever. It was always like, be responsible, and like do.
It's fun.
But I feel like, I mean, yeah, it is fun when you're like 22, but also it's a lot of it is like, talking about it with your buddies.
Yeah.
Like sex is good, but like the reason why you want to like get laid a lot is so that you're seen as like the guy who gets laid a lot.
Right.
Sure, I like the sex part.
I mean, the sex part
The
is
sex
fine.
part's pretty good. I don't know. I like. Sure, it is fun. That's not. I don't think.
I
That's
mean,
like-
having sex is fun, but having sex with 10 women once isn't more fun than having sex with one woman.
It's
10
not true.
times.
Have you seen the movie Broken Flowers with Bill Murray?
I've not.
This is how I like to think of my life. All right, it's like there are all these people, all these women in my past, and it's like when we exploded into each other, both literally and metaphorically. It's
Beautiful.
like it's like yeah, we shared something intense.
Yeah.
That and the light dies, and I don't know. There's something about it where I'm like. It's at the very least, it's interesting to me, and I think it
Yeah.
helps me wrap my head around like human relationships a little better. Where it's like, yeah, sometimes something is special, and it's not going to be special forever, and that's totally normal.
Yeah.
And I can still see these people in our relationship is in no way, shape, or form the way that it was at its height, and it wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. And I think there's a
Right.
great lesson to be learned there. And I love thinking back on my scores and scores of conquests,
Hell
like
yeah.
a kind of like a Don Juan type,
Yeah.
just like Hemingway.
I'm just like, yeah, I made out with this girl. Yeah, I made out with Mindy. Hell yeah.
But there was something I ran into.
See,
an ex.
I hate to look back on my conquests and shudder, remembering the fright.
Yeah, I know.
pure horror.
I will say
Yeah.
I don't like when some of them show up in the Discord. That's not my favorite thing.
Dude, that's got to be a trip. Man.
No, she's a cool person. I mean, what am I doing on the fucking pod? We've been going so long. I'm so comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm
No, that's
sorry.
the part. Is that
you're okay.
eventually just feels like a hang, so we start doxing ourselves.
Well, no, that's great. I'm all for the docs, but there there was something. Last time I went, every time I go home, I run into people who like various women who like at one point I like and just realizing like, oh, I don't even really know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel like we both went in positive directions. You maybe more so than me. but it's cool that we're like, I don't know. I think there are positives to it. I think there are positives just learning how to be like a fucking human who doesn't get destroyed every time.
Yeah, if you can use your life experiences, good or bad, to learn something from and then move on to use that knowledge in your next encounter. As long as it's not.
It's called the game.
Yeah, it's called. You guys read Tucker Max? You guys, Tucker, are you Max boys?
Look. All I'll say is that when I moved to Philadelphia, I read the game, and I don't think it works, but I think thinking you have a system works.
Yeah. It probably gives you more confidence.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're like, I know what I'm doing. I read a book about it.
And then I got laid a lot for a very short amount of time until I picked the wrong one to stick with, and boy, did that destroy me for many years.
Fuck. Yeah, you fell in love, man. You can't fall in love. Man. You can't, man. I'm telling you.
That was my mistake. Should have just kept fucking.
Yeah.
It's not just let me enter into this hell with an evil person.
Yeah, just turn into just a pussy hound. Just completely change your complete everything.
What if I
Start
became
wearing
like a
affliction? Tank tops.
What if I started doing that, but I just like kept not coming, like,
but in an alpha way.
Yeah, going alpha where I'm like,
See, but you're looking at the glasses half, half empty with cum.
yeah, man.
And it's actually half
I go out
filled with cum because
That's so stupid.
now because now you play it like this, like, baby, look, I never come. Right.
Yeah,
right.
You're gonna have a great time.
Let me tell you, that was my move for a minute.
I gotta say, mixed results on that one.
Or even just like, look, I didn't come this time, but when I do come,
Baby.
I'm gonna come. There's gonna be so much cum.
yeah, because women love.
You're
when
gonna
they're-
wish I wasn't coming.
There ain't gonna be any half cups in this sentence.
folks. You're gonna be tired of all.
You're gonna
how
be tired
much
of
coming.
how much coming is happening.
Fuck.
Sounded like you went into
Yeah.
Trump for a second.
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna become like I'm gonna become a ladies' man who goes on so many Tinder dates and brings them home and is not in the mood at the very last second.
Hell yeah. Don't give them what they want. You
Yeah.
know?
You can't.
You can't. You got to make them want for more.
Just last second, I feel scared and I'm like, I don't really know you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. First date, don't even show up. You know what I mean? Like, don't even show up. They'll be like, what happened? And now she's interested.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then
Second date, do not show up.
second date, you do what you did on Valentine's. You just roll out in the middle. You just roll out in the middle. And then she goes, you know what?
She's gonna respect you like a 5-star general. She's like,
Yeah. She's like, man, this guy doesn't give a fuck.
The thing I should clarify, I was not trying to do power plays.
oh, here we go. Look, here we go.
I'm sorry.
No, we know
I'm
it
sorry.
wasn't
Yeah.
calculated. No, Brendan, if you
I
believe
thought
me,
I was making a smart choice.
you so obviously do not know what you're doing. I don't think anybody. Nobody's trying to pin it on you as trying to do something fucked up.
It was calculated and it was evil.
Right,
You know that you intentionally, you woke up that morning and you wrote out exactly what happened that day, and then throughout the day you just crossed it off. You're like, I did exactly what I wanted to do on this Valentine's Day, all according to plan.
Oh fuck.
I apologize. What I do is I'll take bits of information that I gather and then just throw it into different scenarios.
Oh, yeah,
So
dude.
I'm not using that information like, oh, I got insight in this. It's literally just throwing it together. So don't take it too much, you know.
Oh no, I
I always feel weird because sometimes I'll do that on the podcast and be like, hey, come on. I didn't do 9/11. No, I was just saying like in a bit, you know. Like,
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay. Shit.
Holy fuck.
Kevin, I did do 9/11.
You did?
You did.
You did a great job.
I'm here to come clean.
Hey, the calendar is going to have a beautiful September on it. A picture of you with maybe like a rocket launcher, in the desert. Your harem of women behind you in bikinis.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But still the burqa on the head, though.
Right.
You got
bikini burqa on the head.
That's right.
Yeah.
A fucking
A burqa on each tit.
Bikini burqa. That's a $1 million business idea right there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would love to see like those ice. Have you ever seen those like Twitter ISIS photos where they like pose with all their swag, like with like I guess like not cash, but like guns. It's mainly guns.
Yeah.
It's mainly weapons.
Yeah.
Just like you in the bikini. Burqa ladies and just like a bunch of Nintendo DSs, all the Nintendo DS games that you're knocking out.
Just like this.
Do you guys remember bubbling, the porn thing?
Nuh-uh.
It was like a Photoshop thing where they take like a bikini photo of an actress and they would you'd basically take like a texture from the background and like clones to basically just like erase over where the clothes are, and then your brain kind of fills in.
Bro, that's the analog deepfake.
Yeah.
Basically.
Really?
Yeah. I think I think a Mormon guy posted it to 4chan where he's like, you can do this and it's not technically porn, but the way your eyes work, your brain kind of like fills it in and you get horny anyway. But anyway, I'm imagining
like a Disney film.
I'm imagining an ISIS guy just like bubbling out the entire woman and being like, nice.
So cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah, get that pesky image out of my face.
I like to imagine.
just she's full burqa, so he deletes everything and then he's like, fuck, she's hot. Look at those tits.
I even like to imagine that this guy who like defends the burqa. He's like, I like to imagine it's all hole under there. It's just a hole for days.
Hell
just
yeah.
women are just a writhing mass of holes.
Yeah.
Just a black hole in their crotch.
Hell yes, dude.
Yeah. Just a big
Fuck
ball
yes.
with vaginas on every surface and they're screaming, pleading to die.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's talk about a letter to Penthouse. I mean, that shit is hot.
Yes, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah. I hate when I get in the machine from the movie The Fly and there's a pussy in there with me.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
And I come out a damn pussy monster.
You were just trying to transport the pussy from one room to the other.
Yeah.
And you ended up turning into it.
I was just trying to move the pussy from here to the fellas.
I was trying to. Yeah.
It's not really
I've
a
made a
coward episode.
breakthrough.
If we don't do
We don't talk about
we got to do the voice.
The fellas.
fellas. I've called you here today because I've developed a breakthrough method in not only transporting the pussy but putting the pussy on a pedestal.
Oh, shit.
Shit.
I do like the idea of a guy who doesn't understand sexual attraction, and it's like, you should have seen this girl, man. She was so hot. And he's like, did she have like 5 pussies? And you're like, wait, no, just one. And like, oh, she must not have been that hot. Like, oh wow. How many tits did she have, dude? Oh, just the 2. Like, oh,
Wow, what the?
that's not that hot.
This girl sounds basic.
Yeah. She sounds as hot as every other woman I've ever seen.
Like, my dream girl is Jessica Alba. My dream girl has 22 tits.
and they hurt her. They're too big.
It's a pure numbers game.
I just keep her in a well-padded cell. I open that thing up. She can't move anyway.
I
you know?
throw a raw steak in there, close the door.
Hell yeah.
Your bitch only got one pussy? What you gonna do when it get worn out? You ain't got no pussies down the line?
Ain't got no backup pussy?
Ain't got no backup pussy?
All right.
My bitch, she got 4 pussies. I rotate like the tires on my Escalade.
I tell my bitch the same
30,000
thing.
miles. Get that worn out pussy to the back.
Ass to pussy, pussy to pussy.
My bitch, honestly, right now, my bitch got 4, maybe 5 pussies, and she knows she not allowed to pee out of them. she know to keep that shit prim.
2 more decorative, but you know, they look good. Holy shit. I always feel bad when I say like pussy like 27 times.
Why?
It's Jesus, man. He's in my heart. He's pissed.
You're not doing anything to him.
No, I know intellectually.
I really don't feel like this contradicts with my Christian values.
You don't think Jesus was getting some on the side?
I mean,
Books of Thomas?
I got to read those because there's a lot of.
It's tricky business, dude. There's some weird shit. Non-canonical books of the Bible
Yeah.
get wild. I mean, like Jesus, like you know,
Are you excited for Resurrection?
I don't know what for
it's
what.
the sequel, The Resurrection of the Christ, the sequel to The Passion of the Christ. It's going into pre-production. I think it's going to be
Is
out in
it?
2021. Yeah,
That's a trip.
It's the same actor who played Jesus.
it's a sequel.
Yeah,
yeah.
And Mel Gibson is directing it, and it's just Jesus battling demons in hell.
It's a depiction of
Really?
his 3 days. At least that's what all the current reports are saying. And I think I
Man.
would love to see that. Dude.
I would like to see that too, because I mean, I don't think there's anything.
there's no description of it.
specific anywhere.
There's no description of it in the Bible. Yeah.
That'll be interesting. 'Cause the,
I love it. He hit like the Game of Thrones moment where there's no more books. It's
Right,
like,
so it's
all right.
Yeah.
Throw it at the wall.
well, that's the thing. It's like the Passion of the Christ was supposed to be so good because it was supposed to be such an accurate portrayal of, and then to do another one where they're like, "Fuck it," and this one,
do another one that
Jesus is actually a car. He coming back as a Jeep Wrangler, and he's got a dope ass system.
I mean, they are. This was a Family Guy gag, and they're
Right.
doing it.
A couple shows have done this. It's kind of like a hack joke, but I don't.
But I trust Mel.
Because here's
Yeah.
the thing, man. The surreal there are some like David Lynch moments in the Passion of the Christ where you see the baby with like the old man's face, and it's like Mel he's a good filmmaker. He has an
Yeah.
eye for like artsy film.
Yeah.
I want to see him go full like Jesus Christ Eraserhead.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I want,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, when I heard him,
This
screaming,
had to be his first movie back because everyone Christian is gonna have to see it.
Well, no.
So America has to forgive him.
He already got that though.
I think
his
so.
His first movie back was Hacksaw Ridge, which is about the Christian pacifist in World War II, Desmond Doss.
Yep.
And people ate that. It's great. It's a great movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It was fun. It's funny. I just learned this. So apparently, you saw it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know his alcoholic father is played by Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
I learned. I was listening to a podcast called Movies by Low Res Wonder Bread. It's really funny. I wouldn't know this if I hadn't listened to it. So that role was originally played by Mel Gibson, a drunk alcoholic
Yeah.
who beats his wife. And it was only like when they were watching back like the early cut where he was like, huh. He was like, huh.
Let's recast this.
Yeah, and they didn't just reshoot it. They actually, you can't tell when you watch the movie. They overlaid digitally Hugo Weaving over Mel Gibson.
Really?
Wait, and
Yes.
then they reshot the rest with Mel Gibson in a different role.
Mel Gibson's not in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Mel Gibson's not. He watches it back. He was like, that might be a little dicey.
Yeah, yeah.
and
he directed it, but he didn't.
yes, he directed Hacksaw Ridge. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, when I heard him calling his wife a whore over the phone recordings, I was like, "That's the kind of passion you need to make great films." He's a passionate man.
Bro, I want to make a movie called The Passion of the Mel, dude. I want, I all about his death and reresurrection,
Dude.
and the demons.
Yeah.
The demons that he's battling in those 4 years he's gone.
The demons, it's just a lady cop,
It's just
any Jew,
any Jew, any woman. He's
his own daughter.
It's Mel Gibson fighting his way up the levels of Warner Brothers like the Raid. He's just taking out.
Can one man who uses the N-word on a regular basis and hate the Jews make it in Hollywood? Dude, Mel Gibson is a trip. The fact that he's gotten away with some of the worst shit, and it's all recorded and on the internet, and people
Yep.
are like, "He's got another movie? Let's go see it."
And his father's like a known Holocaust denier, and like he
Yeah.
was. I mean, but here's
but
the
he's
fucking-
been getting canceled for so long
Yeah.
that you can't touch him now. Like now that people care about canceling people,
Yeah.
he's like, he's like a guy who did like 6 tours in Iraq. He's like,
Yeah.
you think you're gonna kill me?
Here's what's here's,
can't
I'm not even human anymore.
Yeah.
here's what's fucked up about Mel Gibson is, and the shit that he did is like obviously objectively terrible.
Yeah.
I do like the guy. I think he's objectively one of the most talented like people working.
He's incredibly talented. He's a great actor. But yeah, it's those recordings are fucking brutal.
They're crazy.
Yeah, he's like, well,
But he also here's where like again, not to defend Mel Gibson, but he did make this interesting point. I've just been my YouTube recommended suck right now because for the past 2 days I've just
Your
been searching.
YouTube recommendations are a nightmare.
I just in the search bar I put Mel Gibson shuts down and then let it autofill and I just like go. So, but he did make it. Now, if I'll dox myself a little bit. Being somebody who was in a really fucking, I was in a really terrifying relationship when I was 19 with a woman who was in her 30s.
Oh shit.
And it was like physically abusive on her. There was really crazy shit going on. And he said something super profound in this interview. He's like acknowledging it. He's like, imagine your worst moment. Imagine that you're in a toxic relationship and your fucking worst moment that's supposed to be a voicemail, like whatever the person's done for whatever reason, they've pushed you to this edge.
Yeah.
And then that gets broadcast and you get judged based on that.
Yeah.
And dude, I had to think, like, I was like, if there was a sound clip of me at my worst in that relationship, like verbally, I'd be fucking toast.
Yeah.
But the circumstances didn't. It wasn't unjustified.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, I think he's going
What
through
do you
major
think
mental health stuff too.
Yeah.
I
So,
think it was
Nick, let me
bipolar
ask
stuff.
you, in your worst moment of you yelling into a voicemail, what did you say about the Jews?
I will admit the Jews did not come into it, but that's another misconception. The Jews thing is not on voicemail. The Jews thing is just transcribed from the sheriff's report,
Yes.
which actually contradicts the original sheriff's report that said Mel Gibson was arrested without incident. I've been going down this rabbit hole. I know. It's like there are actually a lot of like conflicting reports as to what he actually said to those officers and whether or not like it wasn't embellished.
Yeah.
Because this guy was kind of already on the chopping block.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you want to pipe up about Mel Gibson,
We gotta get Mel on the cast.
yeah. Hashtag Mel is actually good.
I guess I shouldn't have said all that just now.
No, I mean, here's the thing: we are in a time right now where like those are all bits of information that exist out there in order to make a judgment, and it's just like he did. The shit is fucking horrible. It's not.
It's terrible.
Good.
Nobody should.
what
You
we gotta
shouldn't
do-
be on a voicemail saying, "I deserve to be blown."
Yes. Yeah.
What we have to do is we got to do this Jordan Peterson style,
Right.
Where we lay out information, and then people will be like, "Are you saying Mel Gibson is good?" And we're like, "Well, that's a hell of a thing to say."
That's a hell of a thing to extrapolate. It's like you called your book "Maps of the N-Word."
No, he did, dude. He is a master of breaking shit down.
Yes,
Dude,
he
just
is.
like, oh man, it's nuts. I used to watch a lot of Peterson videos back in the day.
Oh,
and
me
stuff,
too.
And then like, dude, that guy. He's got some great points. He's got a lot of good stuff to say, but he also has what seems to be the ability to justify intellectually almost anything in the world. Like,
yes,
he has the ability to do that. I don't know if he's done it, but the way that he argues is like, he could be like, yeah, all women should be shot in the face, I guess, Jordan.
Yeah, he's like, well,
Well, if
actually,
you look at the science, you pay
historically,
attention.
the timeline of women getting shot in the face is longer than the timeline of them not. So what? Suddenly, it just doesn't make bloody sense. But he.
The way I feel that I think he is a bullshit artist, but at the beginning he was like making good points that no one else was making that would then lead you in, and then eventually you'd realize like, oh, there's nothing of substance here. This guy's
Right.
like an idiot.
Well,
you should clean your room.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
But,
I think
like,
he had good
Look,
shit
you
to
go
say.
on Rogan, you hear a scientist be like, look, we shouldn't judge people's ideas based off of what group they come from. And you're like, well, no one else in my fucking open mic circles is saying that.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
it's also Rogan's tricky also because like whether you have like Ben Shapiro on or fucking Bernie Sanders, his response is always like, "Wow, I can't believe everything you're saying is absolutely true." Like, that's,
yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just
Just
his
stoned,
default.
like, I agree with
Just
everything.
like, wow, that's really a trip. That's awesome.
Yeah, he gets people to keep going down rabbit holes that they probably wouldn't,
Right.
With that tactic. But it's also like,
I've seen him
you're just
disagree with
high,
people,
Joe.
though.
Well, he disagrees on marijuana legalization only. That's the
Yeah.
only time where he pushes back. I will. There was a Peterson video that was kind of the moment for me where I was like, wait, I don't know if you've seen it. He's breaking down. It's the old Looney Tunes cartoon of like the big dog and little dog, and he's breaking it down.
I'd love to see his DVD shelf.
Oh, dude, he loves the Marvel movies.
Purely Disney.
He was breaking down this Warner Brothers cartoon on like an academic level, explaining how like the little dog is an archetype of a person that you will all encounter in your life, and I was like,
Is it me?
no, it's
Am
it's
I
not
the little dog?
No, it's not you because the little dog is like a sociopath, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
He's manipulative of the bigger character, but anyway,
Yeah.
it was immediately just I was like, oh, he's kind of like reverse engineering this shit a little bit.
I think he like has a powerful tool to be able to do that, and sometimes does not use it on the best stuff. You
No,
know?
yeah.
When Thanos, snapped his fingers, he was technically good. If you look,
I honestly, I stand Thanos.
dude, he was doing the work.
The
that had to be
whales
done.
were coming back.
Yeah,
The whales were coming back, and then he was fucking He's a farmer.
yeah.
We love farmers.
Yeah, that's John Mayer, that belief song, it can
Yeah.
make you do powerful things.
Look,
you know?
all I'm saying, coronavirus. Maybe God thinks we need a snap.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You down that rabbit hole, Kevin?
No, not yet. It
You know how many
sounds
people have died?
what is it, up to like 800 or something?
Dude, it's 2,200.
Is it really?
Yes, and
Jesus
80,000
Christ.
infected.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's not slowing down at all. Have you seen like the videos of like there's people in hazmat suits with assault rifles patrolling Wuhan. They're spraying disinfectant spray on fucking everything. They're coming into office buildings and there's like a woman like at a computer and this dude in a full hazmat suit just like sprays her with a fucking hose of disinfectant.
Holy fuck.
And she's still typing just in this torrent of fucking chemicals.
Man, just happy to have my job here.
That's literally it.
I saw something on the cruise ship that had like all these people quarantined.
And people have already died from it.
Jeez.
Yeah,
and that cruise ship comic just escaped and went back to Boston.
Did he really?
Yeah, and the cruise line was like, "You're fired." They got mad at him.
Yeah.
Dude, the cockroach of the human being.
Because he said like
I'm
I guess
fucking
they were
outta here.
It would be a
quarantined,
cruise
but they were
comic.
in they were on like a port that had also been quarantined or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they would let you off the ship, just like not with your bags or anything.
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
you come back. But he's like, so I just left my bags and I went and I only had my passport. And he's like,
Dude, that's what I would do. Shit, you gotta
I would-
survive.
I would stay on the cruise ship.
You would?
Yeah,
No, dude.
No, I'd
eat
get out of-
buffet.
Well, no, I think here's why he didn't stay, because he was cleared as not being infected. So he didn't want to linger around the virus. That was why he fucking dipped.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Why
Yeah.
are they keeping people who've been cleared quarantined?
No, I think the reason why I think he technically broke his contract.
Oh.
It was the problem.
Dude, I feel like the coronavirus.
Oh yeah, because
like,
he has to stay on the ship to
Right.
keep doing his hour from the 80s.
Right, yeah.
he's like, hey, the great news is nobody will have seen my new hour. And I can redo it. I don't have to junk it now. Yeah, dude, I remember all the national like tragedies and shit where a lot of people would die. There would always be a pastor or a preacher somewhere that would pop up and be like, "This is the Lord doing His justification to wipe out those sinners." And like when New Orleans, when the levees break and all that shit,
Yeah.
just people being like, "It's the sinful nature of it. It's Sodom and Gomorrah down there."
So I've been getting back into, when I lived in my car, the way that I would keep my sanity is I would listen to radio evangelists.
Oh, yeah.
It was the only station that I could get. And I just got this thing, Lowcast, I can watch cable again. And I immediately have turned back into Jim Baker, who is on his coronavirus. Jim Baker and fucking,
I knew it.
yeah, dude, he's on his coronavirus
Yeah.
shit. He's selling like fucking barrels of fucking like, perishable or non-perishable shit. And there's a real artistry to what he does, man.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm off base here,
The
but
Bible Belt bug out bag, folks.
Yes,
Get your
yes,
supplies.
Make your own bug out bag.
It comes with a New American Standard and 27 rolls of toilet paper and all the ramen you can imagine. Jesus.
but yeah,
I
man,
cleared
he's-
out my trunk was too insane. I cleared out
He
so
had a
much.
bug out trunk.
I had a bug out trunk.
Dude, I used to.
Now I just have a bag.
Yeah, I have a lot of costumes in my car that if anything goes down, I will be able to dress like one of the characters from the Labyrinth. Without a doubt. You know, I'll be set.
Yeah, that's what you need.
You just you're like shit goes down, you immediately dress up as a goblin. People are like, well, the apocalypse is progressing really fast. It's been like 1 day since the apocalypse, and there are goblins running around.
I have because I have this head of Ludo from the Labyrinth, the big big monster guy.
Yeah.
The kind monster.
Why do you have that?
Well, I do a show called Comedian Cinema Club where we reenact movies and we make shitty homemade costumes to do it.
Like, where is that? So if people want to go see it,
We're moving. We've done it all over the place. We did one at UCB. We did it at Meltdown Comics for
Right.
like a year before they closed down. But we tour it all over the place. But it's fun. But I have all the costumes that multiple people have spilled beer all over. And so then I put the Ludo head back on. It just stinks like Budweiser from like 10 months ago. And but yeah, I put it on one day because I was like, it was cold. And I was like, I need to warm up. Just wearing this
That'd be so
helmet.
sick to get pulled over in a goblin
Well,
mask.
it's pretty good. I made it. I just took a big fluffy pillow and I cut 2 holes in it, and then I just shoved my head through it, and I put a fake set of horns on it.
Fuck.
So it's real warm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
So I'll be ready in the apocalypse if you guys want to recreate any movies, you know.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna have it'll be like Be Kind Rewind.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
to do it.
We'll have to.
We have to do it.
We're just against our will reenacting Mad Max. We're like, I thought this would be more fun.
They're like, guys, how are we going to redo Get Out? How are we? It's disrespectful, but we need it to exist in society, but I don't feel we're
It would
appropriate.
be worse if it didn't exist.
Yeah.
It's good that we're
3 white men recreate.
people would just be mad that that's what we're using the oil for.
This is important to society, you guys. You guys are the ones who are fucked up.
Oh fuck, guys! I hate to cut this. I gotta get out of here. I
Ain't
gotta
no
work
sweat.
tomorrow. Unfortunately,
I get it.
I hate to cut
Fun
this
episode.
short.
Got any plugs?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, listen to Brain Jail. It's a great time with my boys and Ben
I love
Avery
the
and
show.
Jace Avery. Yeah,
I'm a weekly listener.
It's one of my favorite podcasts.
I
I'm,
love it.
Like, on
You
it,
guys
dude.
were like right from the beginning, really strong too.
well, we really just started turning the microphones on for a lot of that stuff and just being like, we're just going to do bits, you know? And then we got, it got kind of real a couple of times. We're like, are we going to leave it in? I guess we're going to leave it in. I'm also doing a weekend. When is this coming out?
tomorrow.
Okay. I'll be in Fantasy Springs Resort Casino.
Fuck yeah.
Tomorrow, the 21st and the 22nd. And let me see here. What else? Oh, guys, come out to watch my kid's orthodontist appointment on the 25th in Burbank. My boy's going to be getting new rubber bands.
Ooh.
So very excited.
This Wednesday, the 26th, I need to log into Twitter or it will delete forever.
Holy shit.
On Mardi Gras, February the 25th, if you guys want to come, people come out. A bunch of people came out to the podcast. So yeah, come out to the Alhambra American Legion where I will be doing a feature set. If you want to come see me, do 10 minutes after not having done stand-up for a month.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Be fresh and inspired.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you're going to go up there so fucking loose. It's going
Hell
to be
yeah.
like jazz.
Hell yeah.
It's always like jazz when I do stand-up.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Dude,
I
this is a blast.
I love Coward Hour. I love being able to talk to you guys.
hell
And,
yeah, man.
you're both good guys. You know,
Thank you.
it's nice to see, and I hopefully see you out there again. Brandon.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm inspired. I'll probably be out.
hell yeah. I need it. I need it in my life. Maybe you could just do it here in the living room, and I'll just.
That would be way better.
We
Can
did
we have
that.
can we have an open mic in my house where it's only people who we think are funny?
Dude,
We
it's
did that
very
once.
LA.
Me and Isaac. Kevin. We should link up after. I want to know what mics you're hitting because the biggest thing for me with like the anxiety of going to mics is just like assholes.
100%, man.
Yeah.
When I first moved out here, I had a group, and we were like tight, and we'd go all these mics together, and then the group started to fall apart, and I was like, "Fuck."
It always happens.
And then having to go like alone, and be like, "I'm doing this. I need to do this. I'm going out," and then just like being in it and being uncomfortable, and I don't know. I really just ripped the Band-Aid off every time.
Yeah.
Just start driving. But yeah.
I gotta get there. Thanks so much for doing it. It's a blast.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Knock, knock, open up, it's me, the crazy, shady, faded fucker, so rock the G's. See a lady, make a baby, lead her on in peace. Only time I give a fuck is for my own release. That's why I own these streets. Straight up, portfolio, showing growth, fuck a pay cut. Yeah, you know I stay slut. Catch me in the spot, looping up for the self-suck. Oh fuck, I busted already, I'm coming bucket so heavy. My dream of cream coming steady, now my mouth open, I'm ready. I'm talking solo, heavy petting on a Friday night. Not talking bashing the bishop, more like Nantucket's delight. I'm taking all the time I need to do it just right. Got my candles in the fishnets cause it's on tonight. Oh that's right, it's time to fillet, no need to debate me. I suck until I go ooh wee and spray my white pee. I got that ski.